Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for these very special spontaneous Valentine's Day readings. I am really excited to be here. Loads of people contacted me and asked if we could do some extras, which I'm really trying to do every now and then whenever I can kind of make that time. So as we have Valentine's Day approaching, today we're going to do some very interesting readings. We're going to do initially 2 readings. One is for anyone who's already in a relationship, to kind of see what your partner is thinking about, how they are feeling, what they're thinking, where this relationship is going, how it's going to evolve and move forwards. We're then going to do a second reading for anyone who is single, looking for your soulmate, wanting to call in the soulmate of your dreams. It's that, you know, when, where, how, what's going to happen, when's it going to happen. That kind of information is what we are asking for. I'm then going to, after we've done those 2 readings, I'm going to do like an extra rune reading. A very special, I've got several sets of runes here today, 3 in fact in front of me. I'm going to draw runes for every single zodiac sign. Now, if you know your birth chart and you know your moon sign and your rising sign, you might want to check out those extras for both of those. And I would say particularly for the moon. If you know your moon sign, because the moon is so representative in our birth charts of our families, our connections, our deep, strong emotional relationships, those kind of emotional connections. So if you know your moon sign, do check that one out too. If you only know your sun sign, there should be plenty of information between the initial reading and then the extras as well. So wonderful friends, I'm going to shift the camera down and I will then get drawing cards and runes and we will see where we go. Thank you so much for joining me today. And this is one of those spontaneous readings. Guys, if you want to get notification as soon as I post anything, I'm still going to be doing the Sunday readings as always for weekly guidance. I always post those every Sunday. But if you want to get notifications of any of the readings, the regular Sunday ones or the random ones that I do every now and then, like these, if you press subscribe and the little bell icon, hopefully they'll come into your stream. And if they're not coming into your stream, a few people again have contacted me and said, I'm not getting it through, I'm not getting notifications. I have to say that the algorithms of YouTube are way over my head. So if anyone can assist in the comments as to how we kind of navigate that, I would be thrilled to have that information. And I'm so sure other people would like to have that shared as well. But you could always go to the homepage, the Moon Magic homepage. And if you bookmark that homepage, you should be able to kind of check in every now and then and see what readings are showing up for you. Without further ado, let's dive into Valentine's Day. Welcome to the first of our readings. So this reading is going to be for people who are in a relationship and you are looking to see where that's going, you know, what he or she is thinking about, what they're feeling, what they're thinking, what's going to emerge and how is this going to evolve. So I'm going to start with some tarot cards. I think we'll use the Light Seers. There's your first card. Oh, 4 of Swords. This is really interesting because this is, I'm just going to move my beautiful rose. I've got rose quartz everywhere, but I'll move my pendulum. It's here in case we need it, in case we want to douse anything. And of course, we have an army of angels available should we need their help and guidance and assistance. Let's move those over here. 4 of Swords. This would suggest that the relationship you're in is, I want to say the healing of a broken heart. Really interesting. And also you needing to nurture this. There's something of this relationship that requires nurturing. Okay, so we have 2 of Wands. It's come up in reverse, but these cards aren't really designed to be read in reverse particularly. But do you know what? I am actually going to keep it in that position because I feel like you guys are looking backwards. Something, you've retreated, you've moved into like a little, you're in a cocoon, you've retreated. It's really interesting. I don't know if you can notice here, but this little person curled up here in this cocoon, can you see on her arm, she has a rune. And the symbol of that rune is actually the rune of fertility. So the rune of fertility requires completion of something. Something has to be attended to, and you're looking backwards. So I don't know if maybe something has happened within your current relationship that's causing you to look back. It's causing you to reflect and look backwards. Maybe it's causing you to look at a past hurt or a past situation. You're feeling as though you've been retreating a little bit in some way. There's your next. Nine of Swords, it's Seven of Swords. Again, look at this, symbols, signs. This is a turning point. It's a significant turning point in this relationship, actually. I feel like you guys are needing to, we have the Star, renewed hope, renewed optimism, finding your pathway forwards. I feel like you guys you're kind of cocooning yourself. Now, some of you, I think, are actually literally protecting yourselves. You're looking backwards. Something has happened. You're either in a state, the sort of state of play of your current relationship. You know, if it's a relatively new relationship, it may just be that age-old insecurities from the past are surfacing. And because they do, you know, let's face it, that relationships bring up the stuff of the past. And so some of you, I think, are looking back, and maybe you've been a little bit anxious, but I feel like this is a relationship that actually will support you in healing those wounds. So even if you're feeling quite vulnerable and it's the early days, or this is a longer term relationship and something has happened to cause you to kind of retreat, feel like you've got to protect yourself a little bit. You know, actually looking back is, in a strange way, it's helpful. Sometimes looking back, it just feels like we're going over and over and over the past again. And to be fair, we do it, don't we? It's such a human thing. But what I feel here is you're looking back and understanding where the past is affecting your perspectives now is going to actually start to show you the way forwards. It's like knowing when the past is in play so that you're free to then actually move things forwards. I also feel like, I want to say the light is coming, the way is going to be shown. I'm going to draw some angel cards. Trust. That's the issue in hand here. You're looking back because at some point in the past, your trust was massively damaged by someone. I can absolutely feel that. It's literally, I can feel my heart hurting. You know, when we talk about a broken heart, trust has been significantly damaged in the past, and your current situation, this current relationship, whether it's in the early days or it's much more well established, something's taken place to wobble you. Okay, so you're needing to, the purpose of looking back isn't to assume that the same thing will happen again. Okay, it's actually about understanding if those buttons have been pressed, how you're going to respond now. The fact that we have the Star and the Trust card coming in here like a light, a beacon, I feel like this, well, we'll draw more cards. I was going to say, I'm feeling like this person can be trusted, because the Four of Swords in this pack is all about the healing of a broken heart. It may be you guys need to also retreat together, spend some time together, have those heart-to-heart conversations. I'm going to draw some more cards, but from a different tarot pack this time. And how is this emerging? We can see what's going on here. Okay, Five of Cups. Oh, this is really interesting. Ooh. And we have the Moon, the card of the Lovers, there's your last. Okay, Three of Cups. This is lovely. This is a celebration. So that for me does confirm what I was kind of feeling here, which is that this is, I think this is a relationship that is worthy of investment. And I think it's about refinding your trust here. And whatever's happened, I feel like it's more, if you think about it, I mean, we all kind of mess up, don't we, while we navigate. I think relationships are honestly the place we mess up the most. All of us, let's face it, it's where we learn our biggest life lessons. Whatever's taken place in your current relationship, whatever's causing you to look back, I'm going to say that I think your feelings are, if we had a pie chart of how much of your feelings are relevant to today's situation and how much is connected to the hurt of the past, I think it's more connected to the past. This is suggesting you can get through this. It's more a mistake that has been made. You do have choices though. You know, this is about you making choices. It has rather thrown you emotionally. You know, it's almost as though, do you know what I want to say? You know, when we fall in love and then it's like, I want to say the bubble bursts, but you know, when we suddenly start to see the other person for who they really are, not as the idealized person or the person that's so perfect that they get everything right, because none of us ever do. This is about seeing somebody in a real light and knowing that, excuse my language, but they have cocked up, basically. But it's also that recognition that we all do. And I feel like they're really willing to put this right. I feel like they want to put time in. I feel like they're actually as devastated as you are actually here. But you know, the Five of Cups is in many ways, it's a breakthrough card, because it's interestingly enough, in some ways it's a card of sort of disappointment. It's a card where, you know, something comes to a head. We can no longer pretend that we can't see somebody, kind of warts and all. But you know, that is the foundation of a real relationship. That's the foundation of a relationship where you can now build a world that's based on real trust, you know, the real deal stuff, where actually it's not a fantasy, it's not an illusion, it's the real deal. This is, you know, I know you, I know who you are. Do you know, there's a saying, I remember listening, somebody said it years ago, and it was, they said, your friends are people who know you and still love you, or they like you and they still love you. It's kind of like, basically they stand by you even though they know who you really are. And it's that sense of, yeah, just of realness. And I think that's the basis of a really strong relationship. And the Moon is a rite of passage. It's suggesting to me that emotionally this is quite intense, but I think it's intense for both of you, for both sides of the relationship. And there are choices to be made. You know, this is about making a conscious choice. You know, what do you choose? Do you choose what I would call the idealized, the seeking and searching for an idealized relationship that is always perfect? Or are you going to go for what I would call a more mature, more real choice, where you go for the stuff of real substance, which may not be perfect, but it will be real and it'll be solid? I'm seeing a celebration here, Three of Cups. This is like an engagement. I mean, this is a card of engagement. Sometimes it indicates the birth of a child. It's a celebration in love. It's that stage of the journey. If I were likening this to, let's say I was writing a novel, this is the point at which I've written the first chapter and I'm in full steam ahead, and I'm now ready to celebrate because I know where I'm going with it. It's not the end goal, but it's like a stage in the journey which warrants celebration. This feels really lovely. Whatever this wobble in this existing relationship has caused you to look back, and the signs are going to be shown to you. trust. Trust is going to be re-established. In a way, if you think about the situations we find ourselves in, even in adversity, they very often, if they touch the past, allow us to actually fix something that got broken in the past. It's often by revisiting the same thing that we can go, but we can attend to something in the present, and actually we start to repair and heal. I'm seeing a celebration coming here, which is just lovely, absolutely lovely. Now I'm going to throw the astrology dice next. Okay, this is lovely. You have Mars in Aries. Now this is really interesting because Mars rules Aries. So, and Aries is a fire sign. It's a new beginning. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It's about passion, heartfelt passion. Mars in Aries. And I'm going to say, you know how sometimes if you've had an argument and you come back together, it's in that moment of intimacy and passion that you re-find each other. This is like a go. It's a new beginning. It literally is. Even within your existing relationship, it's a new stage, a new phase, and a new beginning. And it's come from something that has, yeah, for sure, it's been sensitive, very sensitive. It's wobbled you. It's caused you to look back. But it's almost like the universe has, delivered a situation for both of you where you get to kind of both really step up and renew or remake that commitment. And this is about choices that are based on the realness of what it means to be human, as opposed to the fantasies that we often hold around love. Long-lasting relationships, the ones that really stand the test of time, are the real ones where we don't have to pretend to be anything. And when we get something wrong, we put our hands up and say, I cannot believe I did that, I'm so sorry. And I won't do it again. It's like we follow through. It's walking our talk. This feels for me like it's got the substance of the real deal about it. So, wonderful friends, I'm going to draw one rune, just the one, because obviously in a moment, this is the first of our readings today. This is for people in a relationship. I'm going to, in a moment, draw cards and do a reading for people looking for love. I'm then going to draw extra runes for every single sign. So I'll put the timestamps in the information box so you can access every single sign really, really easily. But yeah, I'm going to draw just one rune. I think probably a crystal rune. Yeah, you have the rune of Gateway. This is really interesting because the rune of Gateway is a rune, I've got little bits of fluff all over my fingers from that bag. The rune of Gateway is basically a pause. It's like you press the pause button, you look back. You look back at everything that led you to where you are right here, right now, and even the adversity and the challenge, you give thanks for the lessons that you have learned. And on the basis of those lessons learned, you can then, in that new space of gratitude for the learning, you can step through the gateway and start that new chapter. Beautiful rune to have here to wrap up this reading. So guys, I will see you for the extra runes for every sign, and how amazing. This looks great. I feel like I want to say congratulations because this really is a card of celebration. It is. It's like that moment of engagement where we've come back together. There's been some wobbles, but actually here we are, building a really solid and amazing foundation. Wonderful friends, tons and tons and tons of love to you. And yeah, I will see you in a moment for the extras. Welcome to our second reading of today, which is for anyone who is single, searching for love, looking for love. We're going to draw from a tarot pack first of all. We have three beautiful guardian angels, all rose quartz, here watching over us and looking to support us in this reading. Okay, we have the Five of Swords. Okay. Guys, I want to say, let's move our beautiful guardian angels. Are you overthinking this? You know, when you get into that space of, yeah, I want to say almost it'll never happen to me, or there's a flavour of something where you're it's not that you're giving up, but, ooh, wow. Ooh, this is awesome. Page of Wands, loving this. I feel like I want to kickstart you into, yeah, kickstart you into a new space of self-belief. See what else we're shown. Oh, oh yes, Two of Cups. Oh guys, yes, this is absolutely awesome. I want to say your manifestations are, oh my goodness me, King of Wands, are going to pay off. Ooh, I think I'm going to leave those cards exactly as they are. We'll draw more. Right. Okay. You've been manifesting. You've really, and I'm really seeing this, guys. I'm literally feeling the energy of your investment. What I feel is going on around you is, it's like it's not a stop-start energy. It reminds me of, like, you know, I don't know if this is how you feel, but this certainly happens to me in manifesting and in life generally. It's a bit like if I decide to go on a diet and I'm kind of like totally there, I'm going for it, I'm really committed, and I'm really, you know, absolutely to the point where I'm doing too much exercise, I'm starving myself. I get to day 3. And it's all, for me, it's always day 3 if it's a diet, and I just collapse in exhaustion, and then I'll end up having a massive binge because I've just run out of steam. And actually, if I pace myself better and just held my intention a little more gently, not put myself under so much pressure, not overthought it or tried to kind of like, you know, I've got to do it. I think, you know, actually my manifestations, the universe could have worked far more actively with me. You know, my angels, my guides, in supporting me to achieve my goal, if I had been more, you know, kept my energy levels high and good. And I feel like you guys, you've actually got good energy levels. You kind of, but I feel like there's been a bit of these bits of running out of steam, pockets where you've gone for it and then, or you've come so close to something. And then either something stepped in, or there's been a diversion or a hiccup along the way. You know, we've been through a phase where there's been a lot of retrograde energy astrologically and some pretty powerful dynamics, which have been quite hard to handle. And I think for everyone, they have stopped the onward flow of things at a pace that we might like. The key to that in manifestation is really holding your energy. Really important to do so, because this feels like you're starting to celebrate. I think you're getting much better at this. This is really saying don't overthink it. Free yourself from that overthinking. The stuff you're worrying about is unfounded. You know, it's like that moment, that little moment of self-doubt that kicks in. Everything here, I almost feel like I've got 2 readings. I've got this one here, 5 of Swords. This is that sort of that space that you tip into. And then I've got this bit here, which is really interesting here. Page of Wands, it's like the excitement, the passion, the vitality, and the 2 of Cups. Here we are, new relationship, new love coming in. So the energy of love is very much around you. It's almost as if this one layer, this bit here, this bit where we get a bit flaky, you know, it's me and my dieting, but I'm sure some of you will relate to that, because this is just, I just know, and this is a very big thing in manifestation generally, where we often go wrong. It's like we don't hold our energy, or something comes in and it knocks us off balance, and you know, we don't manage to navigate through those pitfalls so easily. Part of manifestation is learning to not overly worry, not overly think, not try to force it. And if we're having a day when we're feeling a bit less motivated, to just rather than worry about it, cut yourself some slack and take a day off, step away from it. It's quite interesting. There's sort of evidence that shows that if you are needing to find a sort of a solution to a problem, or an answer, or a way forwards, you know, immersing yourself in the problem is really helpful in terms of identifying it. But it's the point at which you put it down and walk away that the answer comes to you. It's like it needs to percolate with the universe. You need to almost let it go in your head, and there's something about that energy here that needs to be done. I'm going to actually use these beautiful guardian angels to keep some sort of energy. I'm going to put a guardian angel here. Basically, I'm going to keep that space of clarity here, because I feel this card is something you tip into from time to time, and actually we just need to kind of sprinkle this with love and metaphorical fairy dust, and just not worry about it, and know that if we have a wobble, that's okay, because you're human, you're allowed, and hold this energy because it's coming. And the person, I mean, we have the king here, you know, I mean, you know, the King of Wands, I always feel, you know, he's a master of creativity. And actually, you know, I always feel these cards, they're not gender specific. I mean, it's why this pack is so lovely. This is the Light Seers Tarot, by the way. This Page of Wands, as you can see, I mean, you know, she is the page. Often the page traditionally was a man or a boy, but she is a she. And so the court cards are not gender specific. What they carry is the archetypal energy. And this for me is the archetypal energy of manifesting successfully through passion, excitement, desire. Yes, it's that sort of energy. And here it is. It's kind of like, you know, when we think of the law of attraction, we need to be it. You know, it's like, yes, we go to bed and, you know, you get up in the morning and you make 2 cups of tea. It's that kind of crazy stuff where it's, you start to live the dream, even though it's not quite there yet, but it's coming here. And, you know, the King of Wands, non-gender specific, this is a person of substance. You know, for me, this is the real deal. Let's draw from another tarot. In fact, we'll also draw some angel cards as well. But I'm going to draw the angel cards first. That's where I'm going. These very organic readings. We're just literally going with what feels right. Take action. Liking this. Ask for help from others. No need to worry. I am chuckling because here we have this. I mean, this is the resolution to that. Right, okay, so this is the same. This is the manifestation, the law of attraction aspect of this. First of all, there isn't any need to worry. There's real reassurance here. Ask for help from others. Reach out to people. You know, it's very often our friends who, you know, if we let people know, it's amazing how we're just putting that energy out there, that energy of desire. I do feel with manifestation, there's a point at which action is needed. And it's kind of like, you know, when if we sit at home, and yeah, for sure, you may be able to literally successfully manifest the partner of your dreams who just rocks up and knocks on your door one day. You could manifest that if that's your focus. But a lot of the time, manifesting is much more about putting our desires out there and then taking steps to kind of be aligned with the energy of what we want to bring into us. And, you know, sometimes, you know, for sure, we could meet somebody in the supermarket, or we could, but, you know, again, we may be far more likely, you know, than staying at home and having, you know, one shopping trip a week to meet somebody if we do something. And even if you are in a situation where maybe you are still needing to safeguard yourself in some way, maybe you have to shield, you know, we can still go online and actually kind of talk to people online. We can find, you know, if you're not into any kind of internet dating, and I know a lot of people find that very, very challenging, you know, then it's kind of like, you know, join some online groups and organizations who share the same interests as you. Again, ask for help from others, connect with people who share similar interests, because, you know, you're then in an environment where you are around people who, you know, are going to resonate with you. You definitely need to take some action of some sort, but there's a lot of reassurance here. There's no need to worry about this. I feel like they're really, they're really offering you this sort of, they're saying, look, you know, there's this underlying edge of concern and worry here. There's no need for this. This is happening. Keep your energy vibrant, alive and clean. Now I'm going to draw from another tarot. I want to see how this pans out. What are we shown here? Okay, so Queen of Wands. This is really interesting, because for me this is, look at that. I mean, we have Page of Wands, King of Wands, Queen of Wands. I think whenever you draw the King and the Queen of any of the suits, then we are in the realms of partnership, actually. Let's move these cards along here and bring these two cards down. You know, King of Wands, Queen of Wands. This feels such a confirmation here. You know, take action. Don't worry. Hold this energy. I'm going to draw runes, actually, and maybe a couple more. There's some little angel cards I have here. Oops, that's way too many. There's your card. Obstacles and blocks are lifted. Lovely. Yeah, something's been bothering you, worrying you. Things have got in the way. Like I said earlier, you know, there's been so much retrograde energy, and of course Venus has been in retrograde. She has now stationed direct and is shifting forwards. So relationship wise, we're going to start to see you know, movement forwards in terms of you know, relationships and things. This card says all your good personal work and your positive energy shift have overcome previous obstacles, and blocks are lifted away. You will now experience progress and forward movement with your projects. In this instance, finding your soulmate. Stay centered in gratitude to ensure that your flow of abundance continues. That is such a confirmation of everything that this reading is telling us. There's a lot of affirmation in this reading, but it's really saying, look, stuff has been going on around you, and I'm really seeing that. It's like I'm kind of being shown almost piles of stuff dotted around you, which you've just, I think, had to literally, it's just landed in your world and you've had to attend to it. And I'm literally, it's like clutter, energetic clutter, and you've had to do that, and it's felt as if as if almost like whenever you get started you get stopped. But actually this is lifting. I'm really seeing it lifting here. There's no need to worry. Take action. Just continue on your pathway. Part of the action is keeping your energy clean. I mean, this is such a confirmation of that soulmate connection. You know, that profound chemistry. That's really the word I'm looking for. I mean, these two, King of Wands, Queen of Wands, this is that dynamic chemistry. Everything is going to shift here. So really don't worry. Runes, I'm obviously going to draw loads more runes in a moment for every single sign, just to take that on a little bit further, see what extra information we're given for every sign. But let's draw a rune or two for this reading right now. The first one that's come out is the rune of harvest. Okay, so this is a rune of promise. It's a fruit-bearing rune. This is a rune that tells you that you need to nurture and you need to persevere. I mean, it speaks of cycles. It's like, you know, if we sow seeds, we need to till the ground. We need to look up. So there's something about nurturing yourself, your energy. I mean, you know, for me, the queens are always as well. It's like we take dynamic action, but we also simultaneously look after ourselves as well. Yeah, this is a fruit-bearing rune. So, you know, it's a rune of promise. You know, you're not, I want to say you're not there yet, but it's about to, like, literally break open and happen. Obstacles and blocks are being lifted. The harvest for me is a rune. It's not like bringing in the harvest as in, So this is a searching for soulmate. It's searching for that partnership relationship. It's the singles relationship reading. So it's like the two, it's about to happen. It's on the verge of happening. Keep your energy clean. And this is a strong relationship. It's the rune of harvest, means once you meet this person, you need to nurture them as well. You need to invest in the relationship as well. You know, seriously prioritize it when you meet this person. Give it the time and energy that you want to really invest in terms of the longevity and the future you want to build. Lovely. We have the rune of protection. This is really interesting because this is a rune that speaks of managing our emotions. Okay, I'll hold it up to you so you can see that, hopefully. See the little rune of protection? I always think it looks a little bit like an angel with its arms holding up, a little angel figure. But you know, the rune of protection, again, is managing your emotions. Don't let situations or that, you know, that niggle of self-doubt affect you, because when you dwell on worry, you are lowering your vibration and you're feeding the self-doubt, and there is no need to worry. This is such a confirmation. It really is. It's so clear. Ooh, here we have the rune of the self. Lovely. That's our last rune here. The rune of the self is actually the rune of joy, split down the middle and opened. The rune of the self basically says it's almost like it's understanding yourself as the source of change, really here. Again, it's this letting go of this ongoing concern, worry, fear. I feel like it's I want to almost say, you know, the final, that very last bit that you need to put it, it's like the last jigsaw, the last piece of a jigsaw puzzle. That's kind of what I feel like. That's what I'm seeing. It's that sense of the last piece, the last bit that slots into place, and then it's like, da-da, it all flows. There's the picture. Isn't that amazing? Isn't it magical? The future awaits. But it's kind of like you've been searching for that missing piece. And sometimes when we are searching so much, we get into that mindset where we're so intent on searching and worrying and being concerned that we energetically override the flow of energy. What I would also say though, because I have really seen this clearly, there's tons of stuff that's been going on for you guys. I mean, literally piles. I feel like I'm being shown a room with piles and piles of stuff, and you've had to sort through it all. And some of that is still a little bit around you, but I don't think it's going to get in the way. And you may have been worrying that it's going to get in the way. That's another message that's coming through really clearly here. Even if you're sifting through some stuff, or you're finding you've got to deal with stuff, it's actually the dealing with that is actually opening you up to receive. It's really interesting. Like if you had to go on yet another business trip, for example, it might be on that business trip that you meet that person, even if it was unexpected and you thought you were going to have a weekend at home where you were going to, I don't know, do whatever you were doing, going to social events, get out there, manage to meet people, and suddenly you're on a train again and it's work. Actually, it's on that train that you meet someone. It's kind of, I feel like the universe is now, the energy, the astrological energy is working with you, and the universe is working with you. The only bit that needs clearing is that space of any aspect of self-doubt. But yeah, this is such a confirmation. I feel really excited for you guys. I really, really do. So wonderful friends, I'm going to wrap this reading up now, and I'm going to move straight into the runes for every single sign. I'll put the timestamps in the information box for all signs so you can whiz through to whichever of the readings applies to you. Or if you're watching for anyone else, you could be cross-watching for potential partner, so you know, someone you know, friends, family. So yeah, just dive in and get some extra information from those as well. Tons and tons of love to you. Namaste. Welcome, Aries. Let's draw a relationship angel card for you first. Here's your card. It says, very soon, clearly decide what you want so it comes to you now. Now, whether you were tuning into the existing relationship reading or the searching for a soulmate, this card will make sense to you. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. We have the rune of strength and we have the rune of partnership. We have the rune of movement and initiation. Ooh, we have the blank rune. And we have the rune of partnership again. Okay, right. So this is really interesting, guys. Okay, so Aries, whether you are Sun in Aries, Moon in Aries, Aries rising, if you're cross-watching, welcome. Okay, so Aries, very, very soon. Something is imminent. Now, what I feel here is, it's almost like there's been a gestation period, there's been a pause in something. You've been waiting for something to happen. There's been a pause for some reason, but that is about to change. It's about to shift. It's about to move forwards. Okay, double partnership. I mean, this is real powerful energy in terms of this happening. I almost feel like you've had to go through like an initiation, this rune of initiation. It's like there's been some kind of a rite of passage that you've had to go through. There's something of your own soul's evolution. Now, we're going through some powerful times in terms of, you know, global humanity's evolution, individual people's evolution, but there's something within you had to step up to something, or you've had to. And even if there's been some disruption around you, whether that came within an existing relationship or in your search for your soulmate partnership, that's about to move forwards. And what I want to say is the disruption came with purpose. And it's almost like the universe actually had a hand in it, because it was helping you to resolve something, or helping you to step up or overcome something, so that you were almost like ready to receive the level of relationship that you really, really want. It's almost as though somehow something might previously have been slightly in the way. Something has happened that it has in fact opened a pathway for you to move forwards into the level of relationship that you desire. And I want to say it's coming very soon. Hold course, clearly decide what you want, so it comes to you now. There's something that feels very pivotal, very dynamic, very happening for you guys. I'm wondering, I think I will just draw from one other pack. But actually, I'm going to draw a spirit animal guide. I've got lots of different packs here, but I'm going to draw a spirit animal guide just to see what energy is around. There's your card. Dear love, be gentle with yourself. Dear energy is gorgeous. Be gentle with yourself. You heal with the power of love. See the light in all things. Acknowledge your self-worth and grace. This for me is really reinforcing what really I feel is being shown here. That something, whether it was within an existing relationship or something external that felt like it got in the way of you seeking and finding your soulmate, actually it carried purpose. It was about your own emergence into a greater state of strength and completeness. And I feel that you are now, it was literally like a little rite of passage, and for some probably quite a big rite of passage. Be gentle with yourself. This is about you know, we heal through love, and this is, you're moving into a space where you can genuinely open yourself to safely receive with kind of a degree of conscious awareness. I mean, this, to have the relationship runes show up twice is huge. This is going to happen, and it's going to gather momentum, and it's going to move forwards. The rune of movement is the bettering of any situation. It's just about one of the most positive, powerful, energetically moving forwards kind of energies within the runes. The strength, you know, this you have the strength of your conviction. It's like you actually do now know what you want, and therefore you can kind of have it. Until we know what we really want, we can't. It's like, in terms of the law of attraction, it's like it's like if you go into a restaurant and you don't really know what you want to order, the waiter can never put your order into the kitchen and you're never going to get the meal. You've got to decide what you want. And I feel like you're at that point where something has been showing you or giving you that clarity of what you desire in some essence. And that is actually creating this shift. Double whammy on the relationship front. It's happening. Aries, thank you so much for joining me, whether you are watching for yourself, cross-watching, whether this is a moon sign, sun sign or rising sign. Guys, if you want to get notification of any of my readings, these spontaneous ones, or indeed the weeklies that I put up for weekly guidance every Sunday, do press subscribe and the little bell icon, or even go to the Moon Magic homepage as well and bookmark it. That way you should be able to find the readings, and they should come through into your stream if you're subscribed anyway. Yeah, Aries, tons and tons of love to you guys. I mean, this is happening. You know, that's really all there is to it. So much love to you. Namaste. Welcome, Taurus. If you are Sun in Taurus, Moon in Taurus, Taurus rising, cross-watching for friends, lovers, potential lovers. Let's see what we're shown. Let's draw a card for Taurus from the oh, we have several here, more than one. Okay, now this is really interesting. We've got two, honeymoon and unrequited love. Now I wanted one card, not two, but I'm going to keep them both because I feel like there's a different message here. So for some of you, we've got two different messages coming through for Tauruses. You'll know which one is for you. Okay. And I'm going to draw runes and also a spirit animal guide, I think, as well. And these are very organic readings, so I'm being very spontaneous with the cards and runes. I think for some of you, you're coming together. It's the honeymoon time. Really enjoy that time. This is absolutely right for you. For others, there's, you know, this is unrequited love. It's I feel like two very distinct readings for Taurus. Let's do. Okay, so runes for this card. We have separation and Hagalaz, disruption. Okay, and for the honeymoon card, we have growth and openings, Kano, openings. Okay, we have initiation, the rune of initiation, the rune of journey. We have the rune of harvest and the rune of protection. Ooh, these are a big pack, but they're absolutely beautiful. These are spirit animal guide cards. Cougar, lovely, assertive. This is a real assertive energy. Right, I'm going to almost do two separate readings here for you, Taurus. So, Cougar, assertive. In silence, you find power. Claim your leadership role and take action. You know where to go and what to do. You have the courage and confidence to succeed. The honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. We have the rune of Berkana, growth. This is a new phase of beginning. And the rune of openings. This is clarity of direction. Now it's interesting because the rune of journey sometimes indicates travel. And the rune of initiation suggests like a kind of a rite of passage. You're moving through and forwards. We have harvest and we have protection. It is interesting because protection talks about managing your emotions. Now, I actually think this is connecting to the first of our two bigger bigger readings at the beginning. I think this is connecting to those people who are already in a relationship and you were watching that aspect, that particular one. This is a new start and a new beginning. That's the rune of initiation. You're still having to navigate and manage your sensitivity around this new beginning, okay? But actually, it's really, really time to hold that direction, to find that new pathway and to build. Be assertive. Go for what you want. Don't hold back at this time, because it's right for you to move forwards. It really, really is. It's like taking it to the next stage and doing so with confidence, despite that little wobble, which, to be fair, for some of you was quite a big wobble. I know that. But if you're watching this following the singles reading, you know, forgive me, I'm just going to do this for the relationship one first, because this is very clearly about this new beginning that came from the reading for people who were in an existing relationship. So this is really rubber stamping that and saying, look, come on, go for it. Step up, don't be afraid, navigate your emotions, move yourself forwards. It's time, the timing is right. Take time to be together, journey together. Now this is interesting because there's a very distinctly separate message here. And this is unrequited love. Now, it says there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. The rune of separation basically says that you've outgrown something. So there's some aspect of relationship, your world, possibly in this instance, a someone who you may have really kind of fancied the pants off them, but it's not strong enough. This is actually saying this, even though you might have really wanted it to happen. It's also sort of saying you've outgrown them. You're worth more than this. You know, in silence you find your power. Claim your leadership role and take action. You know where to go and what to do. You have the courage and confidence to succeed. Now, Hagalaz is really interesting because Hagalaz suggests that it's a bit like the energy of Uranus astrologically, the Great Awakener. It's kind of like, you know how sometimes something big happens and it basically wakes us up and we can't tolerate something any longer. Sometimes it's like we gradually come to our senses and slowly but surely we realise that something isn't really working. What I want to say is it hasn't been giving you enough. It was out of balance. I think you were giving more than you were receiving. Now, in this instance, in this aspect of the reading for you guys, it is suggesting that there is the potential for a new relationship. There is a new relationship potential on the horizon, but you're having to sort of, almost like the rite of passage here is exiting and the process of letting go of something. I mean, the rune of separation suggests it's a bit like a snake shedding its skin. You know, the new skin is amazing. You know, it's like letting go of, we don't wear that coat anymore, we take on a new coat. But there's a process whereby we have to let something go in order to be in a place where we can welcome in the new. And there's something about you not tolerating, not putting up with less than you deserve anymore. Okay, the rune of journey. Again, it can mean travel. I think in this part of the reading, Taurus, it's suggesting far more that you are needing to journey within and remove any obstacles to your self-worth. Don't let your emotions overtake you, because the rune of harvest is a rune of promise. It's like that the harvest is waiting for you, but you've kind of got to let go of something that wasn't giving you enough first in order to then be able to allow the new in. It is literally the shedding of the skin. Basically something that was appropriate for you previously at the stage of your soul's development at that time, you know, the lessons you needed to learn or whatever, that was okay, but it's not okay for you now. You need to move through and beyond, okay? And that's when the new opening comes. Hagalaz is actually really interesting because it kind of says, you know, it's disruption. It's like things get shaken up. But my goodness me, these two together create a space of liberation and also reward. You know, it will come to you through the liberation. You know, so this is here, the promise is here. This is about you stepping up, being assertive, knowing what you want, knowing what you desire, and knowing that you are worthy of it, and you don't have to settle for less. Gosh, I'm feeling really assertive even just in this reading. Really, really interesting. Okay, wonderful Tauruses. I'm going to wrap up this reading. Thank you so much for joining me. Obviously, these are very spontaneous readings. If you'd like to get notification when I post stuff, sometimes it's webinars, sometimes it's random readings. I do post every Sunday for weekly guidance as well. Do press the subscribe button and the little bell icon if you want it to come into your stream. And yeah, guys, just thank you so much. And yeah, whichever way you are going here, the promise of the harvest is here. You know, in a way, for some of you, you are at a point of investment. It's like a turn. You're all at a turning point. That's what I'm being shown here. Or those Tauruses who are tuning into this reading, whatever, you know, aspect of your world that is. You are at a turning point, whether it's moving forwards into something because, you know, it's just right and you're finding the way forwards, or whether it is actually finding the way forwards because you're letting go of something. The point is, it's about you being assertive and stepping into your own space of empowerment. Wonderful Tauruses. Yeah, tons and tons of love to you. Namaste. Welcome, Gemini. Let's draw from the romance angels for you first. Ooh, ooh. Now, that's more cards than I was intending to draw, but do you know, hey, they're here, so let's go for it. Calling in your soulmate, new love, let go of control issues. Okay, allow this situation to unfold naturally. Cool. Okay, so Gemini, your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. Gemini, it's kind of happening for you. It's like this is working. It's happening. Love is around you. Yeah, this is, whether this is your existing relationship or a new one, allow it to unfold. There's something about it needing to find its own, I want to say, organic process. I'm going to move those cards down because there's kind of a lot of light coming off them, which is, mind you, it looks like there's just as much light coming off them there as there is. Kind of wanting you guys to be able to see them. It sort of depends whether there's any light coming through my window or not, as to how that kind of works. But anyway, let's leave those there and draw some runes. I think you guys can still see them. I think that's okay, isn't it? Yeah, that looks all right. So, well, Gemini, this is exciting. That's all I can say. It's really exciting. It's happening. We have two runes. First of all, we have Strength and Journey. Now, Strength came out in reverse, and we have the rune of Journey. We then have the rune of Flow and the rune of Separation. Separation and Flow in that order. Okay. We have the rune of Defense. Okay, and we have the rune of Possessions. Okay, let me show those to you so you can see them, I hope. Yes, Flow and Possessions. This is ambition satisfied. Okay, right, so where are we with this little reading, Gemini? So whether you are Sun in Gemini, Moon in Gemini, Gemini rising, or you're cross-watching, I want to say it's happening. Whether your existing relationship is moving forwards or you found new love, it's very much the energy is around you. The rune of Strength is really interesting. This is really saying to me, don't force it. Allow it to unfold naturally. This is a relationship that is, it's like, whether it's in a new phase, whether it's brand new or existing, it's a new phase. You're in a new space, and you are needing to let go of something. Okay, now that may be the resistance within you to being able to have this love. You know, like when we start, I always think at the beginnings of a relationship, or even if we're re-establishing a relationship, we often have that wobble. It's just such a human thing. What I feel around you is almost a desire to know what's happening and when it's happening and how it will be. You know, you meet someone and you want to know that they are the one, and actually what you need to do is to allow it to unfold naturally, emerge organically, and absolutely love the journey. And that's what you're needing to let go of. It's letting go of the control issues here. Journey within and see what it is within you that's causing you to try to make it happen, and just relax. Okay, just chill out, relax. That's where it's at, because it's going to flow. The flow is coming. I think this is going to emerge beautifully. The fact that we have the rune of possessions, which is a rune of nurture, it's a rune of ambitions satisfied, unexpected rewards, gains, surprises, would to me suggest that actually this is a relationship of real potential. Okay, the key here is not to get defensive. You know, not to be defensive, to allow yourself to let go of those fears that it won't work out, or trying to make it into what you want it to be. Okay, it's about allowing it to unfold naturally, organically, and then it will flow into an entirely new space of beginning, which is very, very beautiful, actually, really gorgeous. So Gemini, this is very clear actually. Let it flow. Go with the flow, let it unfold naturally. Enjoy the journey. Stop and smell the roses, literally. And that's the magic. And be in that space of pure enjoyment. Relinquish control. If any aspect of yourself pops up that causes you to try and define it too quickly, then just put that aside, let go of it, separation, let it go, release it, because as you release it, there's room then for this relationship to really, really emerge and evolve. It's very beautiful. It's a lovely energy here. There's quite a depth actually to, yes, it's really interesting. I want to sing. I won't do that. So, you know, bless you all. I won't put you through that. But honestly, I do. I feel like bursting into song. It's got a real, this has an elevated energy about it. It's got a lovely energy. There is real potential. I feel like I could sit and listen to choirs of angels. There's something really magical about the potential here. And what they're kind of saying to you is, look, you know, don't try to make it into something you want it to be. It's going to be something remarkable and special, and it needs to emerge of its own accord. It's like you can't make a flower open up more quickly than it should. You know, it's like, yeah, that's what I'm being shown. It's lovely, actually, a really lovely picture here. If you sow a packet of wildflower seeds, you may not actually know entirely exactly what flowers are in that packet, and you see them coming up and you can see the buds, but you may not even know what colour they are. We can't prise them open. What we need to do is to wait for the sun to come out and for the rain to come down and nurture, and they will open when they are ready, and they will be beautiful and they will be perfect. That's what we have here. Oh, it's gorgeous. I'm tingling all over, Gemini. I really am. It's lovely. Absolutely lovely. Well, wonderful Geminis. I'm really enjoying this. I might just have to sit with the energy of this for a little bit longer. Wonderful, wonderful Geminis. I'm going to wrap this up for you. Thank you so much for joining me, whether you're a sun or a moon in Gemini, or it's your rising sign, or you're cross-watching for someone. If you would like to get notification of any of my readings, the spontaneous ones like these, or the regular Sunday readings that I post, do press the subscribe button and the little bell icon, and that way hopefully it will come into your stream. Or check out, bookmark the Moon Magic homepage as well, just to make sure you can sort of find us, because algorithms never quite worked out how they work. But wow, just wow. I don't think you're going to have time to be checking in on readings. I think you're going to be enjoying yourselves too much, to be honest, Gemini. So have fun and enjoy. Tons of love to you. Namaste. Welcome, lovely Cancers. Let's draw some extra cards and runes for you. So, we're going to draw from the Romance Angel cards first. There is your first. See what we are shown. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. Okay. Really interesting. Do you know, several Cancers in my world, really good friends, have both had really challenging relationships, and they've needed to really let go and move on. It's you know, the energy clings sometimes, doesn't it? Just because, yeah, it's sort of in the way. Ooh. Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so it comes to you now. I'm going to leave it at that for a moment, Cancer, actually. I'm going to draw some runes and also some other cards, possibly too. So first of all, your first rune is the rune of nourishment, possessions, and we also have the rune of Berkana, growth. Now this has come out in reverse. I might do a bit of energy shifting here, because although in a way that it's actually very clear, I think what this is really, I think, saying is, look, you need to nourish yourself, and it's basically kind of clear your energy, level your energy out, and then the new start comes. Now obviously, depending on whether this is following the existing relationship reading or the new, looking for new love, there is a time for the new to begin. What I'm being shown as well, for some of you, if you are in an existing relationship, it's almost as though there are issues from a previous relationship that are still getting in the way. And so the releasing of your ex is relevant to those of you who are in a relationship, but you've been a little bit anxious about really committing, or you've been fearful of the same thing happening again. You know, it's that kind of a feeling around this. And if you're looking for love, if you're calling in a soulmate, I mean, I'm kind of really seeing this very soon. Berkana, a new phase of growth. And, you know, energetically, astrologically, we're moving into a time where things are starting to shift and move forwards. Now, this rune, Possessions Nourishment, is a rune of ambition satisfied. I think it's in reverse, because it's sort of asking you to sort of clear the way so that the new can come into you. It really is that laying to rest, that letting go. It's interesting because we have a full moon coming up quite soon. I always think, you know, the full moon is a wonderful time for ceremonies of release. I feel like there's something about letting go and saying goodbye for good. You know, however you do that. You know, those writing a letter, never, you don't have to send it, but that letter, the letter not to send, and then you burn it. You give it up in prayer. You say, do you know, I release you. You know, the past is done. It's not going to hinder me from having what I want anymore. The growth rune, very powerful rune, because it suggests a whole new phase. This is like a new foundation. Let's draw more runes. Okay. Oh, look at that. And it's in the upright position. We have the same rune of possessions. And what's more, we have the rune of signs, and we have the rune of Kano, openings. Okay, this is renewed clarity, clarity of direction. And do you know, in this instance, I often say with the rune of openings, it's like the fog disperses. You know, if you're driving and you're driving along at like 3 miles an hour because you can't, or kilometers an hour if you're not in the UK, but you know, where you're driving along really slowly, and you know, because you can't see the way, you can't see the road because of the fog. And when the fog lifts, it's like, this is what this rune is about. You get that clarity. You're going to be shown a sign or a signal. Look out for synchronicities, because the releasing of your ex, the letting go, is clearing the way. For literally, it writes the rune. Sometimes I do energy shifting in a reading. I don't need to, because this rune has done that energy shifting for you already. And you're literally going to be shown the way. what I want to say as well is fear, obligation, guilt, fog. You know, if we think that that's what fog stands for, I think some of you have in the past had a relationship. What's coming through here is I think you were really quite controlled by somebody. It's like they were quite manipulative, actually. You know, I feel like you were controlled, but you were controlled emotionally. They were very good at emotional manipulation. And that's the bit that you're needing to let go of. That's the bit that is, it's not yours to carry anymore. It's the past. It's time to move forwards. It really is. More rings. Okay. Your first, fertility. Lovely. Completion of beginnings. You have the rune of harvest. And you have the rune of defense. This is really lovely. The rune of defense for me always speaks about boundaries. Look at that, beautiful, beautiful, all about boundaries. Hold your boundaries. I never forget a friend saying she'd received an email from somebody and it said, boundaries, 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 never go out without them. I just thought it was absolutely lovely. You know, it's that sense of just that recognition. You're in charge of your life now. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. You know, you're in charge. You decide what you're prepared to tolerate, what you're not. This is a space of new beginning for you guys. I know, you know, it's a generic reading, and so, you know, it will never apply to everyone. But, you know, for some of you, there's a really strong message about moving on, letting go of it. It's not just it's not the actual ex. It's the aftermath of them. You know, the emotional residue that they left you with. You know, the fear, the obligation, the guilt, the fear of being manipulated again. The time has come to clear your energy. Decide what you want so it comes to you. It's almost quite matter of fact, really, in its own way. Fertility, rune of promise, fruit-bearing rune, harvest, rune of promise, fruit-bearing rune, Berkana, growth, rune of promise, fruit-bearing rune. You've got a lot of potential being offered to you here. The rune of fertility always, it speaks of completion of beginnings, and therefore it's almost like what I'm seeing here is this process of healing for you, of becoming whole, becoming yourself, becoming a boundaried person, knowing that you're not going to be invaded again. It's that space of completing that, knowing that chapter is over now. And, you know, it's now time to nourish, sow seeds for the future you desire. Start to, I always think with the rune of harvest, it's wonderful because it's an empowering rune. It's an empowering energy of, actually, it's time to, it's time to move on, to start, you know, new pastures, literally. Really very lovely. I'm really feeling like I want to draw a couple more cards here, so I'm going to draw from an angel pack first, another angel pack first of all. Let's see what we're shown for Cancer. Oh, that's far too many. There's the one. In the near future. There's a lot of promise here. In the near future, it really is, it's really urging you to hold that path and hold that space of self-belief very soon, in the near future, really clear. And I'm going to draw you a spirit animal guide as well. Ooh. Tiger. Oh, this is lovely, Cancer. Okay, you guys are very watery, but tiger, fire. I choose to be unstoppable. This feels like, you know, recovery, assertiveness, you know, feel the fear and do it anyway. I choose to be unstoppable. My passion is my power. I am bold. I am brave. Mighty forces come to my aid. Signs, signals, synchronicities. Watch out, you're going to be shown the way. Clarity is coming. Cancer, this is lovely. I'm going to pop that one there, I think. Let's just leave those cards, because this is what it feels like. Very soon, in the near future. This feels like such an affirming reading, I think, really. You guys, I mean, some of you have really, I think quite a lot of you, it's in your nature, your watery nature. You're so emotionally nurturing and lovely. But it means that sometimes you nurture others and you don't get enough back for yourselves. It's like, and then gradually that kind of erodes your self-confidence and your own willpower. And, you know, because you're kind of burning out little by little, sometimes in big ways, but I think little by little, there's a lot of what I would call erosion is what I'm being shown here. Okay, so in the near future, this is really happening very soon. Clear your energy, give yourself complete and utter permission to have what you want, so it comes to you now. Open yourself to see the signs. Make sure you're mindful, present enough to be able to be shown the way, and this is going to come to you. So yeah, whether you are in an existing relationship and there's still an element of recovery because there's a past stuff is still sort of like lingering and getting in the way of your progress, or you're in a space of a new relationship and you're looking for a relationship, either way, it's the same thing. Cleanse your energy, decide what you want, and let it happen. It will be shown to you. And so much long-term opportunity here. I mean, this is not, we're not talking about a new relationship that will be a fling. We're talking about something of substance. Berkana, this is the foundation of a new chapter. Harvest, this is a solid possibility that needs investing and nurturing in. And remember, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Never go out without them. Wonderful Cancer. If you are Sun or Moon in Cancer, or your rising sign is Cancer. And guys, these are obviously quite spontaneous readings. Let me know if you if this is working for you, the spontaneity of stuff, just posting it randomly. I do post every Sunday for weekly guidance. If you'd like notification of any of the spontaneous readings or any of the readings on Sundays when I pop them up, do just subscribe, press the little bell icon, and that way hopefully things will come into your stream. And just thank you guys so much for joining me. This feels like a magical new beginning for you guys. It does involve some hard work, the letting go, but it also feels like it's my goodness me, like it's about time. I always feel like it's really quite firm. Release your ex, it's time. Clearly decide what you want. As I said, it's like Spirit kind of wants you, again, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Spirit is being really quite firm with you here. It's like, you know, you don't have to dwell on that anymore. Enough is enough. It's been and gone. It's time to move on. You know, it's got that flavour. Yeah. Again, you know, I choose to be unstoppable. There's something really quite solid about the advice, or I say advice, I mean, a reading is only ever here to guide, you know, but there's something about it, you know, come on, off we go, time to do this. It's got that real sort of feel about it. Anyway, Cancer's wonderful you, or indeed if you're cross-watching, tons and tons of love to you. Namaste. Wonderful Leos. Let's draw an angel, a romance angel card first for you guys. That's yours. Past life relationship. You've known each other before. It's very powerful. It's really interesting, Leo. I feel like a massive presence around you. I'm just going to voice whatever comes through. These are very organic readings. But Leo, there's a presence around you. You've either met this person, you know, or if you haven't, I think they're coming to you. It's like I feel like this is someone really significant coming into your world. Or if you're in an existing relationship, depending on which of the main readings you tuned in with, this is a significant relationship. It really, really is. It's like you're coming together with purpose. And yeah, if you're calling someone in, it's like your beacon is lit and they're coming in. You know, you're magnetizing them in. There's something about you. There's something really karmic going on here. Okay, your first rune is the rune of strength. Your second is Berkana, the rune of growth, and then you have the rune of joy. That's great. It's a really lovely start to our reading. Strength. I feel like you've got to come. I'm just going to say what's coming through. It will be relevant to somebody. I feel like you've got to step through something or over something, or even, I was almost going to say around something, but I don't feel like you're going around it. You've got to step through something, over something, in order to get somewhere. It's really interesting, but this is completely right. It feels really karmic. Let's draw some more runes from another. Okay, you have the rune of breakthrough and you have the rune of signs. Signs, symbols, synchronicities. So this is, I said, sort of stepping through or over. I feel like you have to change direction in some way. I don't know whether this is the relationship that's taking you in a new direction, or whether it's through having changed direction that you then meet this person. But there's a changing course here. The rune of breakthrough is a rune, I mean, sometimes it's like a light bulb moment or the realization of something, but it's very often a change of course. Sometimes a radical change of course. You know, for some of you it may be that it's a career move. You've changed, you've moved to a new job, or you've literally gone in a whole new direction. And this is your new foundation. This is the new phase of life that you're building, and it's through this that the pathway is uncovered, I think, for this relationship to then emerge and to really blossom. It's almost like you had to change direction to meet this person, or collectively you've met this person already, you already know them, and you know, maybe they're moving into, if this is an existing relationship, sorry, rather than a new one, if this is an existing relationship, it could even be that a partner has a career move or something different, and you are needing to change direction in order to make that real commitment to go with them in some way. But the signs and the synchronicities, for me, it's like the signs are there. You're going to be shown what you need to see. And the outcome is joy. Again, it's a new dawn. The rune of joy literally is out of darkness into light, but it's very specifically a new beginning. It is literally a new day, a new dawn, a new horizon. There's something about new horizons here that are coming through. I want to say expanding new horizons as well. We have the rune of the self, okay, and the crystal runes. We have the rune of possessions, of nourishment. This is ambitions satisfied, ambitions fulfilled. And we have the rune of ice, the rune of standstill. Okay, this is really interesting, because I feel that the rune of the self is actually the rune of joy, like this. It's mirrored. It's like if you split the rune of joy down the middle and open it up. This is a soulmate. This is the coming together. It's like, you know, when people talk about finding their better half or their other half, this is what this feels like. It's like it's your other half. It's why if they go in one direction or a change of direction, you're going to change with them, or vice versa. If you've changed direction, I think that may just open the doorway and the pathway for you to meet. Ambition satisfied, again, I feel like there's something to do with career or career changes. I don't know why that's coming through so strongly, but I do feel for some of you that's the message. There's something around career pathways, career changes that's connected to the meeting of this person. It may be even for some of you that you start a business venture together. It's like, you know, you start a new creative journey or a project together. But as I said, it may be that you meet someone through work. It may be that you change direction because of that person's, you know, but there's something about work or career around. Now, the rune of ice is really interesting because this is a rune that suggests standstill. Okay, Now, sometimes the rune of ice, it can mean that we can feel a bit stuck, or like something isn't moving forwards. It can also sometimes ask you just to slow down. You know, sometimes it literally says, look, slow down, don't rush this. You know, allow it to unfold. Literally stop and smell the roses. Enjoy this time, you know, that you don't have to be in a rush to make it happen. Let it emerge. I'm going to draw. I'm curious about the rune of ice because it can have quite a dual meaning. I do feel like there's something about it needing to slow down, or it may even be that whatever's going on around you, some sort of career work issue, that means that has to get sorted first in order for this to really move on and become established in some way. Yeah, I'm going to, do you know, I'm actually going to draw, I'm going to draw an angel card, another angel oracle card. Move those runes. There's your first. Okay, let go. It's up to you, and choose a new direction. Okay. This is this about turn in some way. Let go, it's up to you. So going back to that feeling about something that's changing, shifting, a new course, a new direction, 180-degree turn. In a way, you have to let go of something in order to take that new direction. You have a choice here. That's what this reading is saying. You have a choice. I think that's the ice as well. Take your time to decide if this is a really big decision for some of you, because it is about choosing a new direction. Then just take your time. But you know, look at the couple in this card, standing together, looking at, you know, looking ahead. I feel like it's almost like you're shifting from, I kind of almost want to say, a space of being self-orientated to a place where you're meeting your other half, and it's a really big shift, or you acknowledge that, or you make that commitment. And I think maybe there's a little bit of deliberation around this, or hesitancy for some of you. You know, you have a choice in this. You know, it may even be that for some of you, you know, it's your choice. I mean, I'm really curious. I'm actually going to draw 2 more tarot cards for this reading from a different pack. Just very curious to see where this is going, Leo. And it will, you know, perhaps there's more than one path because it's a big generic reading. But however this is, there's something about moving in a new direction. Now, I think that's either going to open up the opportunity for a relationship to move to a new level, or also it may also be for some of you that it's a kind of a moving on and letting go. Yeah, here we go. 10. There's our first card, 10 of Swords, leaving something behind, but it's a new dawn. It really is a new dawn. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put them here like this. Yeah, there's some sadness around you guys. Yeah, it's like you're letting something go. Are you letting a go of a dream? Do you know, for some of you, it may even be like a dream of the past that you're letting go in order to move forwards. There is a little bit of sadness, nostalgia, looking back. You know that sort of regret. And yet, the pathway is there for you, the new pathway, the joy, the new horizon, the new opportunities. I sort of like, I kind of feel, Leo, it's like you're in this really interesting space of transition. And actually, if this is an existing relationship that had run into difficulty in some way, then I think it's about moving on from that and making that decision. Do you start afresh and give this person another chance to build that new foundation? Or do you actually let go and choose a completely new direction? And if you're actually looking and calling in a soulmate, you know, then maybe again, it's actually about you're having to let go of a dream, or maybe a connection to someone that you thought was going to be the one, or just there's something around, there's just like this little bit of regret and sadness. And yet, this is the really interesting thing, Leo, there's a ton of excitement around simultaneously. I feel like you're really sitting in the balance. But you know, what's amazing in this reading is the breakthrough, the light bulb moment, the changing direction, choose a new direction, and the opportunity for this new dawn. It's like the only thing that holds you back is your own indecision. And actually, this is a reading that really says, look, you know, empower yourself to make a choice, look ahead and move beyond where you've come from in some way, because actually it's time, you know, this is up to you. And I do feel, as I said, there was something around career pathways as well that it really came through very strongly, about there being a space of opportunity as you step into a new direction. There are new opportunities for you. So whether you bite the bullet and do it with someone and it's a new start, or whether you bite the bullet, move into a whole new environment, and that's where you then call in this person. I think that there is a real space of, you're in this transitionary zone where it's going to pop open and move forwards, but it requires you to make that choice for yourself. Leos, I hope this is kind of speaking to you and making some sense to you guys. So wonderful, Leos. If you'd like to get notification of any of my sort of spontaneous readings, or anything that's any of my weekly readings or webinars or anything, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, they should come into your stream. And Leos, Sun in Leo, Moon in Leo, or Leo rising, or if you're cross-watching, just tons of love to you guys. This is your choice, and I feel like choosing a new direction and a new start is really available. And there is something here about this karmic flavor of relationship around. And you know, if you are looking for the one, you've kind of got to step into the new to make this happen, or to up the game of something that's already going on. Wonderful yous, tons and tons of love. Namaste. Lovely Virgos, thank you so much for joining me. Let's draw an extra card from the Romance Angels first and see what we are shown on top of whichever reading you've already chosen. Okay, forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Okay, I'm going to just hold that one card there for the moment. These readings are so organic. I'm literally using sometimes different cards for every reading. I'm just going with what feels right. Let's draw some runes. Your first rune is the blank rune. Wow, this is a space of new beginnings. Constraint. And openings. Kano, the rune of openings. Lovely. New dawns, new horizons, clarity of direction. I feel like you're right on the brink of something opening up, Virgo. You're not quite there yet. You know, you're on the brink of something opening up and shifting. So in terms of love, whether that's an existing relationship, obviously you'll have watched whichever of the readings you watched at the beginning, but it does feel like you are literally on the brink of something, but it isn't quite there. There's a bit of, I want to say, just attention to detail. You know, when fishermen can't go to sea, they mend their nets. So there's something that has to be attended to. It's really interesting though, because you guys are generally very, very good at attending to the detail. And funnily enough, if anything, Virgo, sometimes I feel like in my Virgo readings, I'm sort of saying to people, you know, it's not so much less attention to detail, but don't be so precise that you actually start to sort of pick yourself to pieces. maybe that's part of what's coming through here. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. There's something about not picking things to pieces, whether it's yourself or situations from the past. You know, something is about to emerge. And you're going to see the way forward here. It's going to become quite clear to you, actually. Okay. Yeah. So we have 2 more runes here from the crystal rune pack. So we have, first of all, the rune of initiation, and then we have the rune of partnership. So the rune of initiation, it's like it means, again, it's like a birthing. So the blank rune is almost, I would liken it to like a pregnancy, a moment where something's sort of nurture. It's cooking. It's in the oven, basically. It's kind of, it's ready to emerge, but it's not quite there yet. But this will emerge. It's going to come through. It's going to burst forth. It's going to birth into the world. You're going to birth into the world. And then here we have the rune of partnership. So this is coming. You know, partnership, that relationship or that new phase of relationship, it's coming to you. There's something about you've got to process something, basically, Virgo. That's what I'm being shown here. Yeah, you are. We have journey, we have gateway, and we have wholeness. Okay. This is an interesting set of runes because the rune of journey, again, I want to say again, attention to detail, but without picking yourself to pieces. The rune of gateway, there's always a need to pause and just to review things. Take stock. That's what I'm hearing. Take stock. You know, think about I feel like you guys, you've got all the ingredients, but you haven't quite worked out. I mean, if you think about, this is going to seem like a daft analogy, but I'm going to go with it because it's sort of making some sort of sense to what it feels like here, the energy of this. If you've kind of got a cupboard full, you've got a certain number of ingredients, you know, like flour and eggs and whatever, milk and various things. Depending on what you do with those ingredients, right, those are the basic ingredients for all sorts of dishes. Like you could make a cake, or you could make pancakes, or you could make, you know, pastry. It's like the same ingredients could make a different outcome. And I feel like you guys are needing to, you've got the ingredients, okay? It's like working out which recipe you want to follow. Okay, there's something about pausing and evaluating in order to kind of make something then manifest. And yet, curiously enough, the rune of wholeness actually does suggest that there's probably kind of only one way to go. I think it's just, there's only one recipe that's really right for you. Okay, so maybe relationship-wise, there's really only one person that's right for you. Actually, I'm here now. That is a message that's coming through. It won't be for all of you, but it will be for some of you. For some of you, there's actually only one person that's right for you, and that's coming through really clearly here. I need to just voice that for some of you. You know, if that resonates, you'll know that message is for you. For some of you, it really is the case. There's only one person for you, and that's the path to follow. For others, I think there's a greater need to get clear on what that kind of person or the qualities of that person are, so you know what you're looking for and you know what you're going to kind of, you're basically going to cook up, okay, for want of a better word. So Virgo, I'm going to draw a spirit animal guide card, I think, next for you guys. Okay, we're flying out. That's more than I was going to bring out. Okay. But do you know, I'm having scattered all my lovely rose petals. Let's bring them back in. I'm just going to use all 3 cards because these have flown out, and I think that they are all relevant. We move these up so we have a little bit of room, and let's just speak about each of these cards because they are telling a story as well. First of all, Heron, patience. Okay, so there's something about it's there, but it's not quite ready to birth. Create a place in nature's stillness and be renewed. Take time alone to find balance and step confidently towards your purpose. Patience will bring you rewards. This isn't something you can rush. This is the paying attention to the details. Okay, now Eagle, mastery. You are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. Again, just let this percolate, review, get really, really clear. Because actually you need to trust your inner knowing. Goose, you are a brave traveller. Your soul knows the way. Absolutely, there's one way to go. Be confident, you will achieve your destination. Loyal friends are always with you. Don't worry, you are blessed. Let yourself fly. This feels really important, that so you're not quite there yet with relationship in some way, whether it's moving something forwards or finding that new person, you're not there yet. Some work has to be done first, okay? And maybe it's to do with not judging, forgiving and learning. And that's of yourself too. You know, you guys can be so self-critical. But, you know, we must also never judge others either. It's really important. But so for some of you, I think you really know. And for others, it's about really getting quite clear. You've got the ingredients. It's just you've got to actually decide on that course of action. But actually, deep down, your inner knowing knows. You know, deep down, you actually do know where this is going and what you want to do with this. Okay? You actually know the pathway forwards. It's just that I think for some of you, you kind of don't quite know that you know yet, if that makes sense. I'm going to throw the astrology dice. Okay, yeah, look at this. We have Pluto. This is the planet of rebirth. So again, it's the birthing, and in Libra. And Libra, of course, is all about balance, harmony, beauty. If you're out of balance, if you're a bit critical of yourself, or you still haven't kind of leveled from something of the past, then actually, you know, it's not yet time to rebirth, but it will be. The point of rebirth, the point of clarity of direction, is when this little piece of work has been done. Again, initiation, it's like a rebirth. But relationship is coming, and the harmony of relationship is coming. This is about moving into a phase of relationship where you birth into a phase of relationship, to be honest, where your relationships are in harmony. In this instance, your love relationships, your intimate relationships, your partner, your relationship with your partner is balanced and in harmony. It's no longer connected to past issues. Virgo, this is lovely. I think it feels so full of potential, but yeah, I mean, it's really very clear actually. So yeah, patience, mastery, and inner knowing, and that direction will come clear to you. Yeah, Virgo, tons of love. Don't forget to subscribe and press the little bell icon if you want to get notification whenever I post any readings, if spontaneous ones like these, or the weekly readings for guidance or just general stuff that I put out there. Tons and tons of love. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your lovely comments and shares. You guys are wonderful. Have an amazing Valentine's Day and an amazing journey ahead. This is really powerful, really powerful. Tons of love. Welcome, lovely, lovely Libra. Let's draw a few extra cards and a significant number of runes and see what we are shown for romance, for intimacy, for your love life. Let me use this card here. It says, passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. This is lovely. You deserve love. You are lovable. What are we showing for Libra? I feel like there's one more from this pack to come. And there we have it. Heart-to-heart conversations honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Libra, there's a lovely energy around you, actually, just sitting in the Libra bubble here, you know, whether you are sun, moon, rising sign, or you're cross-watching. There's a real energy of rich vibrancy that I'm sitting in here, sitting with here in this space. I feel like Librans, you guys had a couple of, I mean, you know, I'm not saying that life is not still full of roller coaster rides for everyone. I mean, there's something of the global nature of energy at the moment, but you know, you guys went through a couple of years where it was just such hard work, and you know, it like walking through treacle. Sometimes I think it felt like walking through concrete. All the Librans I knew were really challenged by so many things, and what I feel is you're coming out of that space. It's like you are refinding your passion for life, refinding your energy. A lot of you, your energy was depleted. I mean, this may not resonate with all of you. I appreciate that, but I know most of the Libras I know that there was a real flavor of like really hard, it felt like harsh life lessons. And when those harsh life lessons arrive, in a way, we have to re-find our center, and we have to move back into a space of balance and equilibrium. And you guys love balance. It works for you. It's part of who you are. And I think in a way, a lot of the life lessons were areas of life that were out of balance. Maybe you were giving more than you were receiving. People had come into your world who'd crossed your boundaries. And those challenges, in a way, I think did wear you down, or certainly a lot of the Librans I knew. This, for me, feels like a very different zone. It's like passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. It's like you're refinding your zest for life. And this will affect your love life, because the energy of who you are is going to help you to be different within your existing relationships. And for those of you who are calling in love, it's going to literally become that's the magnet that brings in that soulmate relationship. So there's an affirmation here: you deserve love, you are lovable. There's something about allowing that zest of life and the rekindling of your passion to actually take you back into this space of really knowing you deserve love. And actually, I feel this is like sending a wish into the universe. It's like firing that arrow straight and true from a position of this renewed passion. It's like sending, not only are you finding your own balance, getting back into a rhythm, but you're also, on the basis of that, firing an arrow of desire into the universe for love, whether this is existing relationships or moving into a new relationship. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other, heart-to-heart conversations. I feel this is like you approaching relationship, love and intimacy from a different position, where you can begin, whether it's a new phase or calling in a love, a new person. It's having those heart-to-heart conversations where, in a way, you're laying out your desires, you're being really clear, you're being firm with your boundaries, and because of that, it enables you to sort of, it's like you establish the parameters from day one. That's what I'm really being shown here. Okay, now your first rune is Hagalaz, disruption, followed by the rune of gateway, followed by the rune of joy. That's wonderful. Okay, that's absolutely awesome. I'm going to continue drawing runes, but from several different packs. You then have the rune, oh, this is all about boundaries, the rune of defense. You have the rune of flow, and you have the rune of partnership. Okay, it's an affirmation of relationship here. Ooh, and then you have the rune of flow again and the rune of gateway. Let me move these along because I want to draw a third rune here. This is really interesting when runes show up and we get the same ones coming through. It's one of the joys of using more than one set. Okay, the rune of wholeness. Lovely. So, let me talk you through these runes and then I may just draw another card. We'll see where we go. This is a very organic set of readings. Hagalaz is the rune of disruption. But it is interesting because it always, for me, it's like disruption with purpose. It's very interesting. Sometimes this suggests there is a need to break free from something, or that you've become awake to something. I think with the card of passion, what I should just say is, well, guys, I read cards from left to right and runes from right to left. It's just how it's always been for me. This sort of, for me, this is connecting to this card here. It's like, I think things that you would previously have put up with or tolerated, you wouldn't tolerate them anymore. Which means if something comes up in a relationship for you, it's kind of like, actually, I'm not wearing that anymore. You know, and it's not in a dramatic, it's not like a drama way. It feels really steady. I'm not saying you might not feel passionate about something. It's like you've developed an ability to stop and observe in order to be able to kind of hold your position, hold your boundaries. The rune of joy, again, this is a new dawn. It's a new day, a new dawn, a new day. And the new beginning it's about you. It's your new beginning. It's like you are now a whole person. It's like bits of you that were still being almost reenacted. Maybe stuff from childhood where you didn't feel quite deserving. You know, maybe for some of you there could be something lingering here, but you know, there's something about the life lessons that came, Libra, that have allowed you to move beyond that. You kind of know your own boundaries, you know your own tolerances. This is just telling me, I feel, that you won't tolerate the intolerable anymore. And that's a really good sign. And if this rune is showing up that in some aspect of relationship, whether it's the beginning of something new or within an existing relationship, I think it's time to have that heart-to-heart conversation and establish what you will and won't accept, because that's kind of the deal. And it brings you great clarity and great joy, and it means everything is on a new footing here. Boundaries. The rune of defense for me always speaks of boundaries. It feels like a clarity of boundaries, what you will and won't do. This actually enables the flow to take place. I love that we have the flow twice. The flow is literally people moving into a new space of being. It's the ebb and flow of life, and our ability to be an observer of that and be actively engaged in the process, you know, of the journey. This for me is a confirmation partnership. You know, partnership is around you. The energy of partnership is around you. What matters is that it's kind of like, it's quality, not quantity. It's the right person and the right quality of relationship that you're now seeking. I just think this is going to, you know, we've got the rune of flow, and then we have the rune of partnership sitting in the middle. For me, this is really powerful. You know, the energy around relationship for you is really positive. You are still needing to, I would say, take time to review, because if we've been in a habitual pattern where we've always conceded, even if we shouldn't, then it's quite difficult to give. It's almost like we can naturally slide into that position where we accommodate people and then realize we've kind of like overstepped our own boundaries or overspilled or, you know, given too much again. That's okay. Don't get into a critical zone. That's what I'm being told here. Just hold firm, press the pause button, review, go back and have that heart-to-heart conversation. I feel like this is literally saying to you, Libra, you are now in a position to establish the parameters of what constitutes a really healthy relationship, boundaried, vibrant, balanced, and this is so right for you. It's going to flow. Yes, there are going to be moments of review. That's okay, that's good. in fact, give yourself moments to review. And the wholeness rune in this position for me is really saying, guys, you know, this is you. This is you becoming a whole person, and again, not being pushed and buffeted around by the needs of others. Knowing when and where to say yes and when and where to say no. I think, Libra, this feels as though this is the extra information needed. Obviously, these are very spontaneous readings, and I do post readings every Sunday for ongoing guidance, and, you know, bigger readings as well, sometimes from time to time, you know, doing answering different questions and doing different things, and webinars too. So do check in on those and press the subscribe button if you want to be notified of any of the readings that I upload, and press the little bell icon too, or you may not get them in your stream. I think I want to draw another card yet though. I think I'm just going to draw a spirit animal guide for you, just to see what energy is around you. Eagle, mastery. Oh, this is beautiful, Libra. This is you being in charge of you. You are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. Libra, this is a really beautiful card to conclude this reading, I feel. I mean, it's a magical card. It's a card of, I want to say, pure empowerment within relationship and within love. Let me move that over. Isn't that stunning? You are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. Beautiful, lovely Librans. Tons and tons of love to you. If you're cross-watching, tons of love to you too. Love to all your Libra friends, family, partners, potential partners. Yes, whether you are Libra rising, Sun in Libra or Moon in Libra. Wonderful friends, thank you so much for joining me. I can only express gratitude to you for your love and support of me, the channel, and the readings here, and of this community and everyone in it, because I know you guys really do talk to each other as well. You know, your comments and your support of one another, especially if my world is busy and I'm not able to always respond as quickly as I want to. I mean, guys, your support of each other is amazing. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Tons of love to you all. Scorpio, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for these extra cards and runes. Let's look at the Romance Angel Oracle first. Okay, getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. This feels like an invitation to strengthen something, to build a really strong and solid foundation. Whether this is an existing relationship entering a new phase, or whether it is a brand new relationship, if you're searching for a soulmate, this is going to suggest that someone will be coming into your world fairly soon. And the key to this, again, it may even be that there's someone around you and maybe you're actually tentatively taking the first steps towards getting to know them. Or if someone shows up in your world, it's going to be about taking those steps to get to know them. Take your time is also coming through. It's like it's building something that's real here, that's lovely, really genuinely honest, real, and enjoy the journey. That's what I feel. It's like that beautiful, feels like a space of exploration of one another, of your personalities, of every aspect of yourselves, of course, sort of spiritually, physically, emotionally, you know, sensually as well. There's something really lovely here. We have a card, religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. And keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. As a generic reading, different messages will come through, and so some you'll know if the message that comes through applies to you. Various ones do come through. this I think is relevant to Scorpios, to you in general. I think this is quite interesting because I feel like you're kind of being shown that there's some aspect of spirituality and possibly a difference in spiritual perspectives, and again, get to know each other, discover that space of difference as a source of inspiration, rather than being fearful of that. It doesn't have to limit your horizons. For some of you, that it may be that there is someone around you, you like them, but there's a sort of a tentative, gosh, how would this be? You know, not only, you know, how it would be for you guys, but also how would it be for your families. It's kind of, so there's something about getting to know each other here. And it may even be in some existing relationships for some of you that one or other of you has taken a bit of a spiritual leap forwards. And within that leap forwards, there's something, I'm not saying the other person's been left behind, because I don't feel that's the case, but it's like, again, there's needing space to be exploring and discovering every aspect of yourselves. I said mind, body, soul, spirit, physically, emotionally, sensually. There's something about this space here. But yeah, for some of you, there is some spiritual aspect, I think, coming in. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Allow yourself to explore. Okay, we have constraint and we have the rune of the spiritual warrior. This is fascinating because the rune of constraint means it's not so much a block, but there's something. In this instance, the energy around the rune of constraint feels to me like there's it's like almost like an irritant or a niggle, or it doesn't feel like a gigantic hurdle to get over. Again, there's something to explore here. And the spiritual warrior is interesting because this is a rune that speaks of discernment. It asks us to cut away the old. So sometimes we do have to let go of outgrown or outworn attitudes, belief systems that might actually be causing us to feel inhibited in the direction that we actually want to go in. So in the meeting of someone, or in the extending or moving a relationship forwards, it means that there's a niggle or an element of something that you need to just explore it, discover what that means. I genuinely personally believe that our differences are the source of humanity's greatest potential to move forwards and discover true equality. So whatever this is about for you guys, in your, you need to kind of, interpret that within your own circumstances. But yeah, the discernment, the cutting away of the old, it may be that you are letting go of former limited perspectives around the meeting of someone, or what you would have, even your ancestors might have believed. You're moving into a different kind of zone around that. Let's draw more runes. Lovely. We have the partnership rune, and we have Hagalaz, the rune of disruption. Now this is really interesting. So partnership rune, lovely confirmation of partnership, of love, of intimacy. Hagalaz is, for me, it's the energy of Hagalaz. It's come up in a few of the readings actually, but in very different contexts really, because Hagalaz is like, it's a bit like Uranus, the energy of Uranus, the Great Awakener. So I feel like you're being, you're being shown something. There's constraints, there's inhibition almost around some aspect of relationship of someone I think you either like, or maybe there's some growth or change within an existing relationship. But Hagalaz says, this is about shifting our old perspectives and moving into a space of the new. And again, it's what are we needing to let go of? And it can be difficult to let go of stuff, those old belief systems and patterns, but this is a rune that sometimes does suggest there's going to be challenge. It's interesting, there's no reverse to this rune, no reverse to this one either. whichever way you put them, that they're always the same. And yeah, I feel like keeping an open mind. I do feel there's something quite new and I think very potentially exciting in relationship around you. Let's draw more runes. Okay, we have the rune of strength and we have the rune of joy. Strength, I feel you're being asked to, this is really interesting, hold the strength of your own convictions, which is quite curious when we're talking about cutting away the old. So strength of conviction, and strength of feeling, you know, a determination to hold your own happiness at the height of your desires and well-being. Stay on course. Yeah, this feels quite affirming. The rune of joy is just, it's a fruit-bearing rune. It really is a new day, a new dawn, you know, out of darkness into light. So there's something very powerful here about shifting into a space, I almost feel, where you allow yourself to have something that you truly want, despite former restrictions and perspectives. That's what's kind of coming through. And again, that will apply to you in the uniqueness of your own circumstances in some way. I'm actually going to draw a couple of angel cards, I think, to complete this little extra bit of a reading. That's rather too many, I think. Get more information, getting to know each other. Yeah, don't rush into this decision. Get more information. Take your time. And we have one more card for Scorpio. Okay. Now that is too many, but what I want to do is to pull up the card that is at the bottom here. We have a card of abundance. Okay. It's interesting, we've also got don't stop and communicate. Do you know what this is? Right, okay, here we go. We'll just use all of them. It wasn't my plan, but I think they're just so relevant. So get more information. Abundance, it's kind of like, I feel like it's the rune of joy. That's like a rune of abundance. So we have don't stop, communicate clearly, getting to know one another. Yes. You know, this is really interesting, isn't it? Yes, be assertive. There's no need to worry. Take the bull by the horns. Hold your own. Say how it is for you. You know, this, Scorpio, these cards have just I feel like the energy is like shifted. It's almost like this disruption rune dived in and said, here, look at all these. Off you go. Yeah, don't stop. Communicate clearly. Yes. Be assertive, hold your own, say what's right for you. And there is no need to worry, you know. If you're at the early stages or someone new is in your world, get more information. You're going to see things clearly. You know, if there are constraints or niggles, get some more information, getting to know each other. I think this is really interesting because I feel like there's a real positive take on this in terms of confirmation and affirmation that at this moment in time, the person you're inquiring about is the right person for you. You know, we're not here to advise you. We all have conscious free will and choice, but it does feel the energy around you in a situation that maybe is feeling a bit restrictive or there's a bit of anxiety around it. It feels like that's going to lift and that it's the process of discovery that enables you to hold firm to what is right for you. Scorpios, I'm going to leave it at here. I mean, these are very spontaneous little readings, add-ons to the main two for romance and Valentine's Day and love. Guys, if you want to get notification of any of the readings I post, the regular ones every Sunday or any of the spontaneous ones or the webinars that I do, don't forget to subscribe and press the little bell icon. Super souls, super Scorpios, Sun in Scorpio, Moon in Scorpio, Scorpio rising if you are cross-watching. Just tons of love to you all. Saggies, welcome to this lovely, lovely extra bit of cards and tons of runes. Okay, retreat is your first card. It's time to disconnect from the world. This is very much about retreat together. It's not about retreat on your own, it's retreat together. Wedding. This situation involves marriage. Now, this could be, it's really interesting because this is also, I mean, even in this card, we are looking at a couple who are effectively, she's wearing a wedding dress. It's almost like, you know, they're moving into that honeymoon phase where they need to really spend time together. It's like dedication to their relationship. Guys, I feel like the energy of relationship that's around you, what I want to say is it's serious. This feels as though this is a relationship, either you're moving into a upper grade where you need to take some real time to disconnect from the world and be together. It's like the substance of this. If you're single, you might meet someone actually at a wedding. Sometimes this card can indicate this, but it does feel like there's a long-term, a longevity to the energy of relationship around you. Even then, even if you meet someone new, if you're, you know, single and looking for love, it does feel like we're looking at a relationship that's going to build, and it's going to build into something of real substance, resilience, durability. Let's draw some runes. We have the rune of the self, the rune of gateway, and the rune of the warrior. The rune of harvest, the rune of partnership, bang in the middle. That's gorgeous. The rune of Hagelas. This keeps coming up, this rune. Really interesting, in loads and loads of the these extra, and they're very, I mean, these are really organic readings. Okay, again, we have the rune of the self again. I feel like you guys are needing to ask yourselves, what do I actually want? Okay, it's like there's a negotiation taking place within relationship here. It's like, Sagittarius, it's like you're defining the longer term realness of a relationship, how you want it to be, how you want that to look. And we have the rune of gateway. Yeah, I feel like you guys are in a space of review. And it's really interesting, it's ongoing. You know, if you're single, I think you could well meet somebody, the person that the kind of energy of the person that I think you're most likely to meet is someone who's genuinely committed. That's the flavour here. This feels all about commitment, okay? In fact, that's what I'm going to write, I think, in the information box. It's all about commitment. Okay, and it's like working out what is right for you and what isn't. I mean, Sagittarius, the nature of Sagittarius. I mean, I'm a sun sign Sagittarius, so whether you are sun, moon, or Sagittarius rising, there's an aspect of you that really thrives on freedom. You know, you have a lot of independence about you. You know, you're quite good in your own company. Saggies are usually quite good. We're quite good in our own company. But there's something about also then navigating what that means in terms of commitment, because it doesn't mean that there's a, you know, Saggies aren't commitment phobic, if anything, quite the opposite, because of the kind of, you know, there's a lot of honor, truth, integrity in Sagittarius as well. You know, the truth really matters. And so there's something about navigating your desire for, I would say, freedom of individual expression versus, well, not even versus, that's not the right word. It's like freedom of individual expression, your creative self, your abundant creative self within a committed relationship. So navigating how you both fit together, what you want your long-term future to live. So it's not ceasing to be independent, but it's learning to navigate that with clarity. That's what's showing up here. It's all about commitment. It's all about the long term. That's what's being shown to me here. Relationship right at the center. We have the rune of gateway twice. And, you know, the rune of the warrior, it's about discernment. It's about navigating, working out what's right, letting go of any old perceptions that are blocking you. The rune of the self. I feel like you're very much in charge, Saggies, of working out what's right for you. In fact, I would venture to say take the lead. That's really interesting. Yeah, it's coming through. Take the lead. If there's someone, if you're single and there's someone you like, or you're in an existing relationship and it hasn't quite edged forwards to the period of discussion that you would like with that person to see where this might go, Saggies, I want to say take the lead. Yeah, either way. If it's someone you like, take the lead. If it's someone that you are, yeah, you're not quite sure where it's going, take the lead. You know, there's something, this is all about the long-term commitment and the long-term future for you guys. I'm going to draw, where should we draw from? I'm going to draw from an angel pack. Where am I? Interesting, Saggies. I'm feeling like I want to draw from a tarot pack, so I will do so. This is the Light Seers Tarot. So these readings are so organic, literally every single one is different. I don't think I've used the same layout for any. It's magical though, just to sit with various packs of cards and runes and just dive in and literally go with what feels like it's showing up. Knight of Pentacles. Again, long-term commitments, long-term prosperity. I kind of want to say, you know, maybe there's a need to talk quite practically. Yeah. I love this. Look at the balance between commitment, long-term commitments, long-term stability, and creativity. Get out there, celebrate, be who you are. What this is saying for me is, guys, you can have both, but you've got to take charge of it and you have to be responsible for having your voice within that. I really feel this is, you know, this is saying, show the initiative, you know, decide what you want and go for it. There's discussion of practical stuff here. How are we going to fit together? How are we going to manage our finances? How are we going to sort out the way that we fundamentally live together? But there's commitment here. There's commitment to this relationship. Guys, if you're single, the energy that's coming in around you is very much someone who really is ready for a commitment and wants to make it to you. And with you, I would venture to say, is a better word. But take the initiative, reach out. Knight of Wands, it's beautiful. You can still be yourself. Be your bubbly, wonderful, lovely Sagittarian self. Yeah, this is all about longevity, commitment, the shape and form of how your future might look, and an opportunity to discuss it in a very open way so that you bring it forth. Wow, I think I'm just going to perhaps throw the astrology dice to wrap this reading up. Okay, look at that. Isn't that fascinating? Again, this is, we have Jupiter. That's your ruling sign. It's your expansiveness. It's the expansive energy that you have. Jupiter, well, Saggies, it's your energy, it's hope, it's optimism, it's expansion, it's moving things forwards. But it's in Capricorn, good old earthy, solid Capricorn. Let's make it real. Let's work out how it's going to be. This is in an existing relationship. This is really getting to grips with the nitty-gritty and the substance of how you want, what shape do you want your world to be in? What kind of harvest are you going to bring in for yourselves? Think about it. And if you are at that early stage of manifesting a soulmate, then get really real and think, you know, like what kind of ambitions do you have for the shape of relationship? But yeah, everything is about really solid, constructive building of a future together in a very real and committed way. Such a very, very interesting energy around you, Saggies. It really, really is. Wonderful friends. This has been a very spontaneous set of readings. No, they've been so different. Guys, if you want notification, just press subscribe and the little bell icon, hopefully, of any of the readings as I post them will come into your stream, whether they're spontaneous or otherwise. And yeah, every Sunday I post readings, so watch out for those. And of course I'll be doing some various other webinars and bits and pieces too. So tons and tons of love, and thank you so much. You guys are just awesome. Capricorn. Ooh, goodness me. Okay, welcome. So separation and trust. I didn't expect that to happen. Okay, time apart from your partner is on the horizon, but this situation is calling you to have faith. Capricorn, I did not expect those cards to just fly out in such a direct and immediate way. We'll look at that straight away, and we're going to draw actually some additional cards and a ton of runes as well. This is interesting, time apart. Now, if you're single, it may be that you meet someone and it doesn't quite gel, or it's not so much, no, I'm not saying it doesn't gel, that's not right. If you're single and you meet somebody, or you've met someone and you feel like basically it's like the timing isn't quite right. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but the timing isn't quite right. So don't dismiss it, is what this reading is saying. If you're single, if you're in an existing relationship, for some reason there's going to be some time. It's suggesting, obviously it's a generic reading, won't apply to everyone, but there is definitely a message of, yeah, time apart in some way. It could be a work situation, it could be circumstantial, a family situation, one of you needs to be somewhere else. But there's some aspect of not being immediately together right now, or of that coming. It's on the horizon. If it's not with you yet and it happens, hopefully this reading is giving you the heads up to feel solid and trusting about that when it happens. This situation is calling for you to have faith. It's trust. Just trust in this. Let's draw from the angel cards. Ooh, looks like some of them are the wrong way up. So, and there's another one that's the wrong way up. I don't quite know how that happened. The card Yes has flown out. I think that's our second. And we have Trust again. Gosh, trust. Well, Capricorns, whether you are sun, moon or rising sign in Capricorn, or you're cross-watching, gosh, of all the readings, it's like the cards are just popping out for you. Everything here is offering you reassurance, I feel. You're being asked to trust. I don't know exactly what this is. It will apply to the uniqueness of your world, whether it's, yeah, you're searching for somebody or you are already in an existing relationship. You're being called to have trust. And yeah, so if somebody has really lit your fire and then something happens, you know how stuff happens in the world, and interpretation and perception are everything, actually, because if we can interpret something as, gosh, the universe is telling me that this isn't right for me because it hasn't happened. And this, it's like Spirit is needing to say to you here, it's not that it isn't right for you, it's just that the timing isn't quite right, or something else needs to happen first for some of you, or there are circumstances that somebody else has to attend to in order for them to be ready. But overall, this is the timing. The timing is it's going to happen, but it's just not happening immediately for some reason. So yeah, whether you're looking, don't interpret if you meet someone and you're knocked off your feet by them, and then somehow it seems as though the universe has sent you on different pathways. Don't become despondent. Know that it's just trust, because I think it's going to kind of work out and work through, really, is what this reading is actually saying to you. And likewise, if there's a temporary breakup, or yeah, just a separation for some of you, I'm sort of seeing, like, you know, maybe family stuff or a work situation, someone is called away, or there's stuff they have to attend to that means they're just simply unavailable to you for a short while. But I am hearing that, you know, have faith. It's actually quite concise, this reading. Let's draw some runes. Yeah, separation. We have the rune of separation, we have the rune of Hagalaz, disruption, we have the rune of protection. This is the rune of separation. So again, it's like, here we are. We then have the rune of Berkana, growth. We have the rune of the self, and we have the rune of partnership. This is lovely. It's amazing how often this rune has come out in this crystal pack, in these relationship readings. It's really beautiful. And another set of runes. Hagalaz again, the rune of wholeness, and the rune of joy to finish with. This is lovely. This is like a yes rune. Okay, so let's talk about the runes. This is like a happy outcome, so it's a yes, which feels very positive and very uplifting. I just feel like there's potentially a process to go through to get to here that feels like it could wobble you a little bit, really. Again, you're being called to trust. It's almost like at a level of soul, the circumstances are taking place so that you develop, even in the face of something that feels difficult, you actually develop a foundation, a really solid foundation of trust. It's like that's what's happening. Disruption, Hagalaz. Disruption this is like Uranus, the Great Awakener. I feel like there's something outside of your control. I'm not saying that, you know, whatever happens, we may not have control over external circumstances, but we can decide what we're going to do about it. It is interesting because I feel that there's a duality, and we've got the same rune showing up twice here. And the same with the, sorry, I'm digressing back. I'm tuning into something else. Let me just fix on the duality of this. You see, I think for some of you, there is literally an external circumstance. Something happens that requires or demands the attention of the other person, and therefore they're not available, or there's literally a physical separation. There's also, though, I think maybe something that happened that was unexpected, and it might have taken you by surprise, caught you sort of knocked you off balance, or you were unaware of the implications of something, and you may have acted hastily or reacted to a situation that showed up, again because you just didn't see it coming, and you didn't realize the implications, and that in itself has created some aspect of either division or separation. So different messages flowing through here. But either way, control of the emotions is necessary here. Protection speaks of, it speaks of control of the emotions. I was a counsellor for over 20 years and still do a little bit of counselling work still, but I feel like for me, the rune of protection, it's about understanding, because I think to be able to really manage strong emotions, we need to understand them as a source of empowerment and not as something that is detrimental to us. And even if something comes along and we get like an emotional curveball thrown at us, and we suddenly find ourselves feeling a bit out of control, then the key here is to manage those emotions so that we don't ride on them. We need to actually understand them and use them as a source of empowerment through awareness, because emotion is like energy in motion, and it can sweep us off our feet. I feel like there's purpose here, almost like at a level of soul, okay? And this is really interesting, because I'm wondering if this is like a soulmate connection that we're talking about. Because Berkana is a new phase of growth. So it suggests that there's been a disruption, or there's going to be, or something happens, and you could read into it and think, is the universe telling me this is not right for me? I feel like this is sort of saying the opposite, if I'm honest, although, you know, it's up to you what you do, free will and conscious choice. But there's like a soul lesson here. Berkana is a new phase of growth. It's a new beginning. And the rune of the self suggests that what's taking place is actually enabling you to become stronger within yourself, more centered within yourself, but particularly yourself within relationship. Again, we have the Hagalaz. In a funny way, I think, you know, I said to you, I feel like maybe for some of you, there's been something that was disruptive and you weren't quite sure how to navigate that in some way. This is also helping you to define what is okay for you and what isn't. It helps you to get clearer about what's right for you within relationship. You know, you become a stronger, more whole person because of this. The outcome, you see, is gorgeous. You know, the outcome is yes. The outcome is joy. The outcome is a new day and a new dawn. It's out of darkness into light. It's literally carried across the gap by the wings of heaven. I feel like this whole situation, whether it's searching and looking for someone and then that gets disrupted, or it's an existing relationship, something outside comes in, you've reacted badly or someone else has reacted badly, whatever that is, it's like there's this underlying layer of soul growth, okay, that's taking place here. And the outcome means that you are then in a relationship that is full of joy because it's far more real. The trust is centered in knowing each other because you've overcome something to get there. That's what that feels like. Yeah, whether that's overcoming your own anxiety that you'll never draw in that soulmate, or that the universe is closing doors for you rather than opening them, or that you're navigating some aspect of relationship that causes, you know, even if you're living under the same roof, some sense of distance between you. I think this gets sorted, and it's the layer of trust that it builds that creates some aspect of healing here. So I think this is really interesting and very, very valuable. A valuable period for you guys. It feels quite karmic, actually, if I'm truly honest. Capricorns, it really does. Well, I think I'm just going to wrap this up as it is. If you've enjoyed this reading, the spontaneity of it, they're very organic, do press subscribe and press the little bell icon if you want to get a notification of any more of my readings as I upload them. And guys, thank you so much for joining me. Capricorns, Sun, Moon, Rising Sign Capricorns, if you're cross-watching. Guys, just tons of love. Hold in there. This is about establishing trust within yourself, and you will become stronger, and your relationship as it emerges is going to be stronger. So full of light, really absolutely heavenly. So it's a question of navigating this. Tons and tons of love to you. Namaste. Welcome, Aquarius. Oh, your card is coming out already. Verse 1, codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. This is a very interesting card to pull up, because when it says addictions are affecting your romantic life, this could be an addiction to something, a substance. You may be involved in a relationship, or indeed you may have met somebody in this way who has some form of addiction. But actually, sometimes the addiction is to do with literally with codependency, not just with a substance or a something, but sometimes this card can be speaking about kind of codependent relationships where maybe either you are leaning into a relationship through need, or actually somebody may be leaning into a relationship through need to you. And that's you know, that's a challenge at the moment. There's something that's needing to be processed here. What I would also say, Aquarius, is if you are single, it may be that you've come out of a relationship that was codependent, where somebody again leaned very heavily on you and it's kind of left its mark, and you're needing to kind of process that in order to move forwards. Let's see what else we're shown. Another card coming out for you. Okay, and then we have getting to know each other. So these are really nice cards actually for this additional kind of aspect of the relationship readings, the romance readings. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. This is really about understanding one another. It's really interesting. I found myself really instinctively putting this card over here. I almost feel like this is past and kind of future, as it were. We'll draw some runes in the middle here and some more cards as well. But yeah, I feel like it's really interesting because she's looking back. It's like some aspect of codependency, or you've had a relationship where someone leaned on you too heavily or required too much of you. It's like there's reflection, that there's an impact of something that is still clinging or around you. And you're being encouraged to really allow yourself to sort of playfully get to know the other person. So whether this is someone that you are soon to meet, or this is an existing relationship, again, it's making sure in a way that you're recognizing that these issues here stem from the past. I feel like it's really time to move beyond that in some way. But it's an interesting energy that is still clinging around you in some way, getting in the way of you being able to see another person, or even see yourself, you know, for who you really are. Your first rune is the rune of protection. Now this rune speaks of needing to manage our emotions. Again, not be emotionally overwhelmed, but recognize how to use our emotions as a source of empowerment. And then we have the rune of protection, of separation. Protection and separation, Othilla. You've outgrown something. Either this is something, I feel like I'm being flooded with different messages all around the theme of codependency and addictions. I feel like you're ready to let go of something. I sort of said I feel this is past and then sort of present and future. I feel like you are genuinely ready to let go of something here. And that feels rather heavenly, if I'm honest, actually. It feels good that you're ready to let go of something. You're looking backwards at something. You've outgrown something. Othilla is like, it's like the shedding of a skin. It's a turning point, and it's full of gain. But the gain is because we let go of something. The space that we create through the letting go of something means that more comes to us. Yeah, there's something, you guys, I feel like I am being flooded with messages, which in itself is really interesting, isn't it? Because, you know, that's the thing about addictions. They're very compulsive. They're very, they're really hard to let go of. And I'm feeling quite, gosh, lots of stuff coming in. Let's draw a couple more runes from a different pack. We have the rune of harvest, and we have the rune of strength. Now the rune of harvest is interesting because it speaks about needing to invest in something, or it's like to invest in an entire process in order to manifest something. So the rune of harvest, it's like it doesn't mean that we can necessarily just bring in the harvest. There's work to be done. I mean, if you're a farmer and you want to bring in a harvest, what you actually have to do first of all is to prepare the soil, and then you sow the seeds, and then you nurture them, and you navigate the weather, and eventually you get to a point of harvest. And it can speak of a period of a year. So there's something about this, there's a process and a transition around you. Again, the rune of strength. You are being called to be really strong and resolute in your convictions. If somebody around you has a kind of an issue, or indeed if you do, and you're needing to kind of work through something and process it, you're really being encouraged to find that inner strength to do so. It's not, it's an interesting reading. We're going to draw some tarot cards for you guys as well. Kind of really curious to get a bit more information here. Okay, so we have Kano, the rune of openings. That's lovely. And we also have the rune of wholeness. Okay, now guys, I'm feeling quite uplifted. Okay, I was sort of feeling a bit of heaviness really around you, and thinking, gosh, where is this going? But actually, I think the way is going to become clear. So even if there's some aspect of something that's been clinging or resurfacing in your world, I think it's going to shift. This feels really good. The rune of openings is a really good energy. It's a shift out of darkness into light. It's finding clarity, finding a direction. And wholeness is really such a clear pathway that's right for you. So there is a letting go. There's a navigating your emotions. And also taking time to really know the other person. Really see who they are. Discover who they are. This is feeling really good though. This moving through, getting clarity. Now I'm actually going to draw from a tarot pack, which is interesting, maybe even more than one, but every single one of these readings has been so organic and so different. But I'm going to draw definitely from a tarot for you guys, because this feels, in a way, I'm seeing a really potentially really positive growing outcome. But I sort of feel like there's something you've got to process to get there. Okay. The card of Judgment is your first. Okay, that's quite a lot. Okay, we've got Queen of Swords, we've got the Hanged Man, got Eight of Wands and the Chariot. I'm going to move these right across the, yeah, I'll bring them along at the bottom, I think, so we can see them all. Yeah, we can see them all this way. Eight of Wands, Chariot. Okay. I mean, again, you guys, I'm seeing whatever this situation, it is actually going to move forwards. There is a processing for you guys before something can move forwards. There's some kind of relationship around you, or some, I don't think it's a new relationship actually. So if you are single and looking for love, there's something about looking backwards to an aspect of codependency in a former relationship that may be currently stopping you from moving forwards. Maybe you're anxious or fearful. There's something about the emotional residue of a past relationship and needing to let go of that. If you're in a relationship where there's any aspect of emotional codependency or financial codependency, or whether there are any genuine addictions to anything, whatever that may be, it's time to kind of look at this, okay? The card of Judgment is such a summing up time, and there's such an opportunity to move through and beyond this. It's like this is the time to rise above. Queen of Swords, for me, the energy of this is actually being really resolute, holding that pathway, steering that ship, because you're ready to look at this in a very real way. That's the key here to romance moving forwards, and I am seeing it moving forwards, both in the rune of openings here, Kano, the Chariot, and wholeness. This is like a pathway to completeness. So I feel like the essence of relationship around you, Aquarius, right now is attending to something of this, whether it's a current relationship or it's fears around getting to know someone because this has been a past issue, or fears of commitment in some way. You're ready to look at this. You know, the Hanged Man is a card. It's lovely because it's actually, there are loads of runes. I don't know if you can see this in this picture here, hanging upside down, and there, of course, right beneath is the rune of separation. It's sitting there, Othilla, here we go. And I do feel this is the being able to see things and being prepared to look at them in order to find a pathway forwards. And for me, the 8, it's that spark, that moment of decision where you move onwards and beyond something. You've kind of come to a realization and you're ready to move forwards. And once you do, I think this is going to gather momentum. I think you would be surprised at how quickly things can actually adjust and change given the chance. Yeah, I do feel that, Aquarius. Now, this is obviously just a tiny little reading, an extra bit attached to the main 2 love readings at the beginning of this video. Guys, I post readings every week on Sunday for weekly guidance. If you want to get notification of those, do press the subscribe button and the little bell icon. That way you should get notification as soon as I put anything up, including these. You know, sometimes I will just spontaneously draw some runes for the full moon, or a card for the full moon. You know, and sometimes I do bigger readings. It's really variable depending on my own kind of circumstances. I'm going to close this by drawing from the astrology dice, actually. Okay, Mars in Gemini. Okay, so this is really good. It's time to move something forwards. It's time to put your passion into something, move it forwards and take action. Interestingly though, with Gemini, the energy of Gemini, it's also time to view this from all perspectives. It's really coming through very strongly. View the situation from every possible angle. If this is something that you've experienced in the past and you're fearful that you've met someone new, and you're fearful that you could get yourself into the same tangle again, and it's holding you back, this is again saying just stand back. You know, because as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens, and you're either going to be in a really supportive position to kind of come through something if it's still happening, or you're going to be in a position where you really do know that this is the past. I do feel there's predominantly a past energy around this. I'm not saying for some of you it could be possibly relevant now, but I do feel for most of you it feels like it's history. She's looking backwards. You know, it's really time to relax a bit. Clarity is coming. And I do think once you make a decision and you are prepared to stand back and look at this from all angles, and you're sort of free of this, I think then the way forwards is going to come very quickly. Wonderful, wonderful Aquarius. Yeah, I wish you so much love in your love life, because I feel like this is quite a turning point for you, when things can move forwards and something can be finally released and let go of. Tons and tons of love to you. See you soon. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Welcome, Pisces. Thank you. Oh, wow, your first card. Keep an open mind. Pisces, welcome. Whether you are Sun in Pisces, Moon in Pisces, Pisces rising, welcome to these extra cards and runes. I've got 3 packs of runes here we're going to draw from. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Okay, well, this is quite interesting. And we also have the card, this could be the one. Okay. So this is interesting, whether you are in an existing relationship or you're looking for one. This is really interesting because it suggests you have already met the romantic partner you seek. However, they may not be presenting in exactly the way you would either like or expect, but actually, you know, it's saying you've already met the romantic partner you seek. So yeah, if you're single, you may actually already know that this person, but you haven't really viewed them through that lens. And if you're in an existing relationship, then maybe, you know, maybe you've been questioning something, but actually this reading seems to be very affirmative in this aspect of relationship for you. Okay, you have the rune of movement, you have the rune of openings, you have joy, you have initiation. I'm going to draw a lot. Signs, signals, synchronicities and Berkana growth. This is actually very positive, okay. So this would suggest that someone you know may well be that kind of a significant love interest for you, or someone you're already in relationship with that you've maybe had doubts about. First of all, the rune of movement. Guys, I always read cards left to right, runes right to left, if anyone's wondering why I'm starting on this side. The rune of movement is the bettering of any situation, and Kano, the rune of openings, something is going to move forwards, you're going to get direction, clarity. So I'm kind of seeing some impetus, some momentum, something shifting forwards, you know, potentially in a I almost want to say quite a sudden way, interestingly enough. The rune of joy is a fruit-bearing rune. It's like suddenly the fog is lifted. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. So these first three runes, I do feel like there's a real, there's a shift forwards in some way. Something starts to move away from where it's been. If it's been stuck or you have been single and you're questioning, actually suddenly I think maybe you see somebody differently. Initiation. The rune of initiation is a beautiful rune. It's a rite of passage. It's like you're moving through, almost a rebirth in some way. And the rune of signs, signals, synchronicities. If you're having any kind of a wobble about whether the person that you think is this person is right, look for signs, symbols, synchronicities, kind of ask for advice. You know, I never forget I was having a personal wobble about something. It was very random, but I was kind of debating something, and I was sort of just put a message out there and just said, you know, could I be shown a sign or a symbol or something that would help me to kind of know which direction to go in. You know, should I wait and evaluate a bit longer, or should I felt I was being pressured to make a decision and I wasn't ready. And you know, I literally pulled out from the bottom of the road that I live in, and a bus drove past. I moved out behind it, and right on the back it had Libra travel, and with this sort of weighing scales, and I thought, no, I'm not meant to rush into this. I do need to wait just that little bit longer. It was just this incredible immediate sort of, right, here you go, you know, do I wait, do I, you know, and there it was. So ask, reach out and ask. I'm feeling there's a really strong message here, because I feel there's an underlying issue of trust around somehow this sort of, it's not even trust, but debate, deliberation. But this is going to move forwards. And the rune of Berkana, this is a whole new phase. So there's something about, even if it's an existing relationship, of moving into a new phase of being together, allowing yourself to discover rather than trying to be too fixed as well. That's coming through. I'm going to draw a couple more runes from a different bag. Okay, oh, this is magic. So you have the rune of partnership and you have the rune of joy again. This is good, Pisces. I mean, this is sort of joyous, basically. Yeah, I just want to say this is joyous, Pisces. I'm really enjoying the energy of this. That the readings have been so mixed. Obviously, there's so much to get and so many messages to come through in generic readings. But yeah, this feels very strongly good. Yeah, someone you already know potentially. Partnership, the rune of joy again, fruit-bearing rune. New dawn, new day. Okay, more runes. We have the rune of partnership again. Oh wow. Now we have the rune of separation, Othilla. What are you leaving behind? This is really interesting, because if the rune Othilla had come up here, say, then I'd be sort of thinking, gosh, do you have to let something go or someone go? But I think you're having to I feel like you have to put something down or let something go. Keep an open mind. Maybe it's to do with expectations as to kind of what kind of person you thought you were going to be with. You know, expectations about what they look like, or, you know, what they do, or where they live, or how they are, or some attitude. But you're letting go of something here. Everything here suggests positivity, growth, emergence. Double whammy on the relationship rune, and double whammy on the joy. This is really, whoever this is, if you're single or if you're in an existing relationship and you're debating, this feels like quite an affirmation, actually. Obviously, this is a generic reading, so it won't apply to everyone, but I do feel like, you know, this is certainly the right person for you at this moment in time. It feels very strong, very strong. I'm going to draw from, it always feels like it's complete, but I feel like I want to draw, you know, maybe a couple more cards, maybe some angel cards. I've got a couple of packs here. I'll use this little tiny pack first to see what comes through for Pisces. Okay, so we have a few cards. There's quite a lot, maybe more than okay, maybe more than I would have drawn, but we've got focus on your priorities, do the work, face your financial fears, and exercise to increase your energy and manifestation abilities. These all feel like sort of like personal work. Do the work. Here we go. Focus on your priorities. Where you put your focus is where you receive your outcome. Your priorities are calling to you, which may produce a feeling of anxiety unless you give them the time and attention they and you deserve. Even a small amount of time devoted to your priorities will help you feel better and more confident. So there's something here, if you're having a wobble, whether maybe your expectations have been questioned, focus on your priorities. What's most important to you? Is it relationship, or is it, you know, what is it? If your work-life balance is, you know, out of balance, focus on what's most important to you. Do the work. It's not enough to dream or pray. You've also got to take the positive action steps that you are being divinely guided to take. Consistently working on your priorities. Really interesting, isn't it? We've got priorities, and then we've got consistently working on your priorities will make them flourish like a lush flower garden. Then we have face your financial fears. This is interesting. When you're honest with yourself about fears of success or failure, they can no longer control you. Be free of hidden fears by exposing them to the light of awareness, and you'll realize that you in fact have nothing to fear, and that every successful person has struggled with and released these self-doubts. It's really interesting because I feel like this isn't about money. Even though it's the card itself is face your financial fears, I think it's about facing your fears. You know, again, maybe the person you're attracted to or with isn't able to bring in as much in the way of finances as you thought they would if there's a financial aspect to it. But there's something about them delivering here, and of you overcoming your fears. You know, every successful person overcomes self-doubt. I feel this is much more to do with self-doubt and you prioritizing what is actually important to you. And then exercise to increase your energy and manifestation abilities. The key to manifesting quickly is to have very high energy levels, and the easiest way to increase them is through physical exercise. Choose a fun and meaningful activity so you'll look forward to exercising and it becomes its own reward. It's really interesting. I feel like these two cards are about overcoming fears and doubts, but also about keeping your energy levels up. Because if your energy levels are low, it's quite hard to maintain your balance. And if emotionally you're having a wobble, you're really wondering, gosh, is this the right person? Am I going to make a mistake? And all those fears and doubts are there. If your energy levels are good, you'll feel much stronger and much more confident about prioritizing what you really, really want, and perhaps choosing to invest in spending time in discovering this person, because they may not meet your expectations, but it doesn't mean that they're not the one. It's very interesting. It's quite a specific reading, really, Pisces, but yeah, I feel I'm just going to wrap it up there. I felt it was pretty precise, and I think there's a lot of a lot of information from Spirit here, really talking about you working out what you want and then being open to the fact that it's kind of like working out what we want in terms of relationship, of love, of intimacy, but also not being so specific that it's kind of like if we put out a description to the universe, if we're so precise to every detail, you know, we could miss the person that has all the qualities that we want because they haven't fulfilled a particular expectation. It's kind of like we've written them off, and actually they were really, they could have been the one. So there's something about that balance between knowing our priorities, working out what they really are, without getting so hung up on these specifics that we could overlook. It's kind of like, you know, overlook that they tick so many boxes, but just because they didn't tick that one or that one, then we delete them almost, and actually they could have been the one. They could have been a really fulfilling partner that you really, exactly the person you want, with major potential growth. So I think the letting go here with Othello again is to do with letting go of fears, doubts, and also you're being very encouraged to really maintain your energy and your balance and your equilibrium, because it's very hard to keep emotionally on track and to be strong emotionally and resolute around, you know, what really matters to us if we are literally at a low ebb. So again, really just prioritize your own well-being in every possible way, particularly physically, I'm going to say, and emotionally, because that really affects your energy levels. Wonderful Pisces, I'm going to wrap up here. Tons and tons of love to you. Do press subscribe and the little bell icon if you want to get notification of any of my readings. Obviously these are very spontaneous. I do post every Sunday, and I do webinars, all sorts of interesting things, conversations, stuff to do with managing emotions, actually, all kinds of stuff, moon webinars. So yeah, if you want to get notification of anything as I upload it, that's the best way to do it. Subscribe and press the little bell icon. In the meantime, wonderful friends, just thank you so much for joining me, Pisces, Sun in Pisces, Moon in Pisces, Pisces rising, or if you're cross watching, have a wonderful Valentine's Day, holding that energy, looking after your own energy, and overcoming the fears that allow you to actually acknowledge, I think, how you might really feel about someone who you have already met. Tons of love to you. Namaste.